All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody, hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party. Welcome to the party, everybody. Shout out to Liberty Plus TV in the building. Welcome. Oh my goodness, Sam Harris. How does he keep falling further and further and further down this rabbit hole of woke stupidity? Now, full disclosure, I'm a non-believer, and so Sam Harris is someone I used to follow pretty closely. But he is the perfect example of somebody who is really good in one area, and then that makes them think that they know everything about everything. And he definitely does not. So he was recently on the Triggernometry podcast, and he was talking that ish. And let's dive right into it. As always, guys, if you can't hear the video, please do let me know.
So sorry, I know this has gone on for a long time with just me talking, but this is like a meme, me talking too much. But there's one other bit of this I want to explore with you before Francis takes over, which is the one thing. Look, I'm not American. Francis is not American. We love this country. We have so many great American friends. The one thing that does really give me pause is this conversation that I don't understand about a third term. Steve Bannon was pushing this idea a long time ago. And as we sat down to record this, President Trump was asked about this. He sort of gave a bit of a non-answer. He did say he wouldn't run as vice president, the sort of Russian Putin Medvedev switcheroo that they did way back.
See, already, I definitely hate where, who Sam Harris is in this situation. But, that third, I've said from the very beginning, that third term talk is no bueno. Shout out to King Nirvana. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, sir. How we doing today? I know that you've seen this, right?
But that to me is the one bit of
the one out of 1,000 things that caught your attention. I mean, like the fact that he's even after January 6th, the fact that we're even having this conversation.
Of course, January 6th. There's nothing else that these people can think about. But okay, fine. Good joke. That's the one thing about Trump you don't like? All right, I'll give it to him.
I mean, like the fact that he's even after January 6th, the fact that we're even having this conversation is insanity.
I'm trying to make my point in a way that is easier to access for people who may not agree with you.
Right.
Okay. I'm trying to take some of the edge off. You
know your audience. All right.
Ooh, that's 2-0 for Sam so far. I mean, why are you saying it like that? Just so that your audience is going to like it better? That's a little weird.
Not agree with you. Okay, I'm trying to take some of the edge off.
You know your audience. All right. I'll take all the help I can get.
Well, what I'm saying is, all of these other things. For example, take the corruption stuff. Right? A lot of people are just going to go, "I don't give a shit. I care about." He sorted the hostages. He's dealing with immigration. Sam Harris doesn't like the way he's dealing with it, but at least he's dealing with it in some way. He's got NATO to pay their way. I could give you other examples. Right? Repatriating manufacturing back to the US. Whatever. But the one bit that I think a reasonable person, including after January 6th, would have to look at and be worried about is...
Why? If he's the right guy for the job, why wouldn't we want him for a third term?
Because you have a...
Because of the Constitution?
Constitution.
Yeah, but...
And an unwillingness to follow...
Yeah, but... What do you mean, yeah, but? What do you mean, yeah, but? I thought that whole mentality was the end of the world. Yeah, but what?
Wouldn't we want him for a third term?
Because you have a constitution.
Yeah, but...
And an unwillingness to follow the constitution is an indicator of some serious problems, wouldn't you say?
Well, I would say, but he views the Constitution like most rich people view the tax code, where you're just looking for loopholes. If there's a loophole, then why not use it, right? And some constitutional scholars think there's several significant loopholes in the Constitution that could allow for tyranny. I mean, that are... The framers didn't anticipate... in some cases, they did anticipate, and they basically just said that there's no perfect way to deal with a sufficiently unethical president, right? But one could argue that they didn't anticipate anything like Trump and the full capture of the Republican Party into something like a personality cult.
Yeah, because, the Founding Fathers, they knew a lot about politics and stuff, but somebody who wanted a lot of power, that's something they just couldn't imagine.
I mean, what they clearly didn't anticipate is that the separation of powers is broken down because Congress doesn't care to be its own power anymore, because the Republicans are just wanting to ratify whatever lies and indiscretions the executive branch throws up. So
who was it that just had the longest government shutdown in history? Shout out to TheIndianJesus. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, Dr. TDS indeed. You know what? I'm mad because I would have loved to be able to hear this or see this before. That is exactly what I would have made the thumbnail. Just Dr. TDS. Good one. Welcome. We got Carl's Frosted Tips over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. How are we doing?
Ratify whatever lies and indiscretions the executive branch throws up. So, Congress has been neutered, right? Congress owns tariff policy, right? Congress should be setting the tariffs. Probably these tariffs might, I'm not a lawyer, but it remains to be seen. I mean, there's now hundreds of cases in front of the courts. Much of what Trump has done already might be ruled illegal, but Congress is sitting on its hands for patently political reasons. I mean, every Republican who has...
Hopefully, this is as dumb as Sam Harris gets, and we never have to think about him ever again. But wishful thinking, I know. Wishful thinking.
On its hands for patently political reasons. I mean, every Republican who has any hope of maintaining a political career at this point knows that they can't cross the MAGA base. Some actually fear for their lives in crossing the MAGA base. And we know this, again, when we look at the people who said they would have impeached Trump after January 6th and didn't because they were afraid for their lives. And that's already a lurch toward tyranny in this country. I mean, that is an unraveling of democratic norms that we can't afford to let unravel. And the Constitution is no complete bulwark against any of that. We know this. I mean, the greatest lesson we've learned from now two experiments with Trumpism is that in the place of laws, we have norms in many places where you thought we were shored up against chaos and the unraveling of democracy by law. We really weren't. It was just everyone before Trump had the deep.
So you mean all the talk that we had in the run-up to actually both elections about we can't trust our institutions, but specifically in 24 after we saw how the COVID stuff played out, that we were right about that. Okay, just making sure that you now agree with what everybody has been saying that it was that you, Sam, were calling evil. You now agree. Great. Shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips getting us started. Getting the party started with the $5 Rumble rant. Thank you so very much. Don't forget, guys, every single donation comes with a treat for Morty, the co-host over there for you vertical streamers. Again, if you prefer the vertical streaming, you are over there. Awesome. If not, click the pinned link and you will come right on over to the sideways one. Carl's Frosted Tips said, "Skull fuckers. Rather give you more than YouTube takes. Fuck YouTube. Come to Rumble, folks. Dilly, and skull to that." Don't forget, guys, that we are every single stream is live on YouTube, X, and Rumble. And now with Rumble, you've got both the vertical and the sideways, whichever one you like. We also got equality and deference because vagina over on Rumble. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Said, liked, and shared. My goodness, thank you so very, very much. You guys know how much that stuff really, really does help the channel. It's free. It's easy. Just give it a little double tap, and it really does help. Aquali says, oh, Sam, don't make a fool of yourself. Spoiler alert. He does. Shout out to Angry Amputee. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Let's dive right back in here.
It was just everyone before Trump had the decency not to do that thing because it would look so terrible. Right?
Oh, so everybody knew that it was BS, but everybody just pretended that it wasn't BS. Yeah, what a bad guy.
Right? I mean, no one thought that you could. I mean, we got an emoluments clause, but it turns out that whatever Trump does, I mean, Trump can't be prosecuted for any crime while president, and he can just launch a Bitcoin into the ether and literally earn billions of dollars over months. And I mean, I can still dimly remember a time when it was being debated whether or not members of Congress could go to functions, whether they had to declare the price of the food they were being served if it was a seated meal. I mean, it was like past hors d'oeuvres that could pass, but a seated meal suddenly was an emolument that invited real scrutiny around corruption and undue influence on our legislators.
Don't bring up the former President Obama with a hit list, a Peace Prize nomination, and being responsible for convicting over half of the Patriot Act people, Edward Snowden included. And he loved it. Sam loved it. He couldn't get enough.
Around corruption and undue influence on our legislators, by pharmaceutical companies or whoever. You can now transact business directly with the Trump family, from any place on earth.
Yeah, again, we already knew. Like, we all watched The Apprentice, bro. We all know that he's a slimy dude. Does that mean that he can't run the country? And does that, in fact, mean that perhaps it's better for someone who's running the country? Glad you've joined the rest of the conversation, Sam. Liberty says, fuck Sam Harris. Who cares about an altcoin? Anybody who buys an altcoin like that is asking to get fleeced. Yeah, I was going to ask you guys if anybody had, gotten into any Trump coin or anything like that, or any kind of Trump stuff, like Trump Stakes, Trump University. Has anybody ever put money into any of that? Because speaking of loopholes and I guess you just call it social Darwinism. If people are gonna buy that shit, I am not. That's what I think most people are like. I mean, I ain't buying money on that shit. So I think, social Darwinism. Why not? Dylan said, wasn't former A.G. Garland going after Trump's people, Sam? Not to mention how Biden literally said parents, white dudes, and MAGA are more of a threat than radical Islam and China. What? Yup. But no, he's he's the worst in the world.
Transact business directly with the Trump family, from any place on earth. It's
Sam, come back to my question.
Yeah.
My question is,
so remember the question. I don't even remember what the question was.
Are you concerned that President Trump will not relinquish power?
Oh yeah, this was about the third term.
Yeah. My question is,
focus.
Are you concerned that President Trump will not relinquish power?
Lock in, Sam. Lock in.
Ironically, I'm less concerned about that than anything I've talked about. But the truth is, I'm not. If you listen to everything I've said, I believe none of it is hypothetical, right? I'm complaining about stuff that's already happened. I'm complaining about the brand damage that's already been done to my country.
Sure, but I'm asking you a different question.
I think the change.
He's like, listen, I haven't told you enough about how much I don't like Trump. And Konstantin's like, okay, yeah, we had you on already. You talked about that the last time you were here. How about we talk about something new? Shout out to Behave over on the vertical stream. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So I want signed memorabilia from Trump, but that's the best investment. So yeah, that would actually be worth money. But I'm sure you wouldn't buy Trump steaks, and I'm sure there was Trump shoes, right? I know one person who did buy those, but it was a set piece. It was a set piece. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? Welcome to the party.
Already been done to my country.
Sure, but I'm asking you a different question.
I think the chance that he's going to run for a third term effectively, that we will actually be faced with this eventuality, is very, very low. Okay. And I'm not again, there are people who are better informed about the mechanics of all this, and unfortunately, one of those people is Steve Bannon. So yeah, I'm not saying I know something that Steve Bannon doesn't know about how all this works, because I certainly don't. But I just have to think that our system, that we've maintained enough guardrails in our just the basics of federalism, and the fact that this all.
I do agree. I don't think that trying to find loopholes to get Trump to be the president, I don't think that helps anybody. I think MAGA, the mentality of MAGA, is big enough that we have somebody who can properly represent that, and we get somebody else. Shout out to Spudnik. Welcome. Said I would vote a third term. Now, here's the thing. If we got to the situation where it was Trump and somebody else, like, I'm not going to purposely go with the worst option, but I don't want us to go down that road. If we're down that road and it's Trump or let's say it's Trump and Kamala again, if it's Trump and AOC, Trump and Zoran Mamdani, I'm definitely voting Trump again. That doesn't mean that I want to go down that road. Welcome to the party, Sputnik.
To be run at the state level, the elections at the state level. I have to think that we are going to be sufficiently allergic to that it's not going to happen.
Moving forward, the Charlie Kirk assassination was obviously something that left an imprint in all of our minds. It was profoundly shocking.
Watch, he's going to make it about Trump. Trump voters.
Some very interesting comments criticizing the rights and the rights response to the Charlie Kirk assassination. So why don't we just go through it? You say what you thought, and then let's get into it.
Sure.
Yeah, right. That's what I was saying all through when they were saying he's a threat to our democracy. They didn't mean he is a threat to the democracy in America. They meant he is a threat to our democracy. These are people like the Nancy Pelosi, the Chuck Schumers of the world saying this. You got to read between the lines.
Well, I was just starting my tour. Actually, I think I was doing my first event the day he was assassinated. So I had him, like many people. There are many people in our orbit who were doing live events, and I think Ben Shapiro was in a similar situation where it's like, it's like the world stopped, and Live Nation got on the phone with everyone who they were working with and said, "Hey, listen, if you don't want to go out on stage, just let us know." But so it's just
spit it out, Sam. We're already at 1.2 speed. We're already at 1.2 speed, and this is how he talks. Maybe because you got nothing to say, homie.
It's about it, at those live events that I was doing that week.
So Charlie Kirk.
I mean, it was a terrible thing. It was terrible on every level. It was terrible just as a murder of a young father. It was terrible that his family was there. I mean, it was just awful. It's additionally terrible because a political assassination is genuinely dangerous because we are so combustible as a society. And the fact that we're this combustible, a lot of the onus goes to both sides, but I would put most of the onus, as will not surprise you, on the president and his cult, right? And
just for the verticals, I got to do it this way. Just saying things, just saying bullshit. Just, well, there's things, and I actually was doing an event that day, and with events, then you go to Live Nation, and they were listening to everybody complaining and saying, well, if you want your money back, shut up, say the thing or shut up. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Echo or no echo?
The onus, as will not surprise you, on the president and his cult, right? And I would say that the response to the assassination was highly asymmetrical in ways that don't make Trump and Trumpism look good. I mean, I thought, so for instance, all the people.
Oh, well, if Sam said it doesn't make Trump look good, then we better listen. No echo? All right, there we go. We've got, I don't know why it always plays right in the middle. So no more of emotional damage of my sounds not working.
That don't make Trump and Trumpism look good. I mean, I thought, so for instance, all the people right of center were watching those awful videos of Gen Z maniacs celebrate Kirk's murder.
And so watch how he's going to find a way to make it not about that, and how it's about something else, and not the fact that people were openly and happily celebrating the death of just a guy.
Those awful videos of Gen Z maniacs celebrate Kirk's murder.
Because again, he said awful. So I'm going to guess that's about as much hell as he's going to give these kids.
And obviously, all those people are dangerous morons on some level, and many of them,
Okay, on some level,
obviously mentally ill too. I mean, these are not, there's not the cream of the crop of the woke intelligentsia.
Shout out again to Carl's Frosted Tips for the $5 to our new sponsor of the stream. Don't forget, guys, every donation goes towards the Morty Memorial Fund. He is here. He is fine. But we had a discussion with the vet that will not be the case forever. Plus, we do also have the stream goal, 15 donations of any amount or a $50 total. And not only does Morty get a special treat, but you get to watch me try to bulk up these puny arms. I am so puny and I need your help. Carl got us started. Thank you so very, very much, sir.
There's not the cream of the crop of the woke intelligentsia. There's just the sheer number of facial piercings you saw in those videos could have told you something. But what you didn't have left of center were prominent people with big platforms, prominent media figures, or, to say nothing of political figures, like, from Obama on down, say anything but this was horrible and we should never let it come to this in American politics, right? Like, this is
I skipped the first 40 minutes of this because it was basically this, and it's not right until when they bring up Charlie, where the Triggernometry guys are like, all right, can we actually talk here? Do we have something to say? So I saved you from a lot. I saved you here. Look, I saved you from all of this. We will go back to Sam talking about Trump and immigration if we get to the end, but it was more of, how are we doing this? Exactly what you would expect.
There's no party left of center, real party for political assassination, and yet
Well, wait, what did he say? No party.
Never let it come to this in American politics, right? Like, this is there's no party left of center, real party for political assassination.
There's just multiple. There's just a collection of ideas that are based on violence and destroying anything beautiful. What are you talking about?
We should never let it come to this in American politics, right? Like, this is there's no party left of center, real party for political assassination, and yet right of center, very prominent people from the president and Elon on down treated it like the first shot fired in the Civil War.
But it was a shot, and you're talking about words. At the very best, it still was someone getting shot in the neck.
Totally irresponsible, totally dishonest.
Unlike calling everybody Hitler and Nazis and fascists, that's totally responsible and has nothing to do with this. I don't understand how you can, like Liberty said, the worst thing we know is he's smart. So that means he's actually just evil. I swear this guy got in a car accident or something. The fuck is wrong with him? I'm dying right now. This is the ramblings of a crazy person. Facts. Yep.
First shot fired in the Civil War. Totally irresponsible, totally dishonest. I mean, these people were arsonists pretending to be firefighters. I mean, Elon jumped on X within minutes before Kirk was declared dead, certainly before his killer was caught, and said the left is the party of murder. Right. And then I think,
because it is. Just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not true.
Some hours later, he said, if they won't leave us in peace, there's nothing to do but fight or die. Right. I mean, to 225 million people. Right. So to have the richest guy in the world on the most.
So again, exactly as I said, we're talking about, that gunshot was really bad. But what about them words, huh? Dilly to me, I guess. Yeah, right. And then it's always the pro-choice guys.
Politically important social media platform in the world say this sort of thing is just, it's, I mean, it's beyond reckless. I mean, it's just sociopathic. It's just
to shoot someone in the neck. Yes, I agree.
He is just flinging matches into a landscape that has been just soaked in gasoline.
Well, hold on there, Dylan. I mean, clearly, if we look at the differences, then the summer of love was totally justified because people thought and things and felt things. Don't you get it?
And the soaking has been done mostly by Trump and Trumpism and just what's, the grifters right of center, like Candace Owens and Tucker Carlson and Alex Jones. I mean,
Shout out to all of them. All of them. Dilly dilly to them all. I don't know exactly what's up with Candace lately, but I mean, between the two. Clyde said, the left is the party of murder is too much of a blanket statement to be accurate for the whole left. Not in the context of left or right. That's what the conversation has become. If we're going to say which is the party of murder or which is a party of violence, then it's not too broad. In general, yeah, I agree. But when a dude gets shot in the face, that's not the time to make that argument. That's the time to be like, oh, maybe talking about Nazis and fascists all of the time wasn't a good idea.
And I know you have your differences with those guys, and perhaps we'll get into it.
We have a lot of differences with those guys.
Yeah. I mean,
Shout out to AI Whisper Max. Welcome to the party. Says Sam Harris, one of the most vile men ever, weighs in. Who cares? If you're a Sam Harris fan, you're a scumbag. Well, I can agree with that. Welcome. I care because, unfortunately, there's a lot of those scumbags out there, and I want to know what the fuck they actually think, and they think exactly what he's saying. Welcome to the party. Larry said Alex Jones will live forever in meme culture because they're turning the friggin' frogs gay.
Interesting how the landscape is fracturing right of center. I think it would be good to talk about all of that because I think it's more fractured than you guys think it is. I mean, I think there are more casualties than just Tucker and Candace there, or at least should be. But this was a highly asymmetric moment of political hysteria, right?
Because one side murdered somebody and the other side didn't.
So left of center, you had genuine lunatics who represent no one celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk.
They represent no one. I mean, I know they represent nothing, but they definitely, they represent no one. That's convenient. They don't represent the people who they get all this fucking bullshit from. They don't represent the people that they voted for who represent them. I mean, the cope is never ending. Shout out to the nose over on the vertical stream. Said, let's like and subscribe. Dude needs more than 4 likes. That's what I'm saying. We only got 5 on the other stream. So I appreciate it. The nose. Welcome to the party. We also got the Del Paxton. Welcome. Said Sam Harris is turning more and more into a mouse every day. Every single day. Just when you think he can't get any worse. Welcome to the party, guys.
Genuine lunatics who represent no one celebrate the murder of Charlie Kirk.
Let's just pause that there. Isn't there an argument to be made, Sam, that the rhetoric of the left, calling everyone fascists and Nazis, when quite patently they're neither fascist? Look, you can...
Well, it's interesting because Larissa is going to be standing out on the corner in New York City wearing a onesie, screaming about fascism while we fly by on hoverboards. Maybe, but you bring up Sam and New York City. I'm interested to see if and what he has to say about Mamdani, because one thing that I am almost certain, I could be wrong, but I'm almost certain that Sam Harris is not going to go back on is the fact that Islam is bad. If there's one thing I believe I can trust Sam Harris on, is to think that Islam is bad. But Mamdani, I don't know. Which way does he go? That will tell you where the dogma is. Where is the dogma stronger, in his politics or in his philosophy?
Fascists and Nazis, when quite patently they're neither fascist. Look, you can have your criticisms about Charlie Kirk's politics, but let's be honest, he was a right-wing conservative, a Christian conservative. He's not a fascist, he's not a Nazi. Yet that accusation had been made time and time again, not only against Kirk, but also people of that particular branch of politics. Doesn't that incentivize these type of murders, these type of violence, this type of...
Oh my goodness, I love this. I've not heard this before. A good kid always obeys Mommy and Donnie. Dilly Dilly fucking dilly to that one. That is a good one.
The politics. Doesn't that incentivize these type of murders, this type of violence?
Well, it's more complicated than that because
it's more complicated than that.
so Trump is not Hitler. I've never said he was. We're not living in.
I never said he was. So the fact that I support all these people who do say it all the time, well, it's a little bit more complex. Is it though?
Weimar Germany now in America, but he is a genuine wannabe authoritarian, doing many authoritarian things and damaging our democracy.
Such as. We're not going to give any example. Okay.
With both hands, every chance he gets. Right. So I don't know. And we're just you're now asking me what I think about the prospect of him running for a third term in just overt.
No, that was 2 questions ago. I know that you can't think about anything but Trump, but that was 2 questions ago. We were talking about Charlie Kirk and rhetoric around Charlie Kirk. Stick with us, big brain, Dr. TDS.
Now asking me what I think about the prospect of him running for a third term in just overt defiance of the 22nd Amendment, right? It's not fascism. I mean, fascism is the wrong term, right? It's just got too much culturally specific and historically specific baggage.
Okay, Sam. So let's stop there. Do you align yourself? Maybe you personally have never said he's a fascist. Maybe you personally have never said that he's a Hitler or any of these things. But do you associate with people who call him fascist? Well, you sit here and be like, well, clearly, he's not a fascist. But I wonder what's going on here. The cope is never ending.
Much culturally specific and historically specific baggage attached to it. But authoritarian is the right term, and aspiring.
He said the USA has brain damage earlier. I think that deserves projection. And I just refilled, so we going in hard. Good catch. Good catch. That projection whistle. We got to know when people are full of shit. Thank you, sir.
Attached to it. But authoritarian is the right term, and aspiring tyrant is the right term. And he's just not.
Oh, we're not going to back it up again. Okay.
The truth is, he's not effective enough. He's not ideological enough. He doesn't care about enough big things to worry me that much, right?
He doesn't care enough about big things to worry you that much? Have you not spent literally the last decade talking about nothing besides him? I am my flabbers are gasted. Like I told you guys, I used to be a fan of this guy when he talked about neuroscience and philosophy and religion. And then one day, the Waking Up podcast was getting more and more and more political and more talk about Hillary Clinton this and Hillary Clinton that. And then Donald Trump is the devil. Maybe he never specifically said that, but he talked extensively about how it would be the end of the world if he won. And then he kept going. And then he ran again and did the same exact thing. And then he won again. Oh, it doesn't worry me that much. I mean, what do I even do with that? Yeah, Trump, the guy that I've been ranting about nonstop for the last decade, I don't really care that much about him. Turns out, Sam actually sleeps with his head shoved up his ass. I'm sorry, I do not have any, I don't know what to say to that.
Logical enough, he doesn't care about enough big things to worry me that much, right? I mean, if he were this is a point I've made to the consternation and confusion of many audiences, but the irony is, if he were a better person, he'd be a more dangerous person, right? If he were,
Liberty 2 for 1. So the aspiring tyrant now has his favorite argument has taken the place of, well, if it were different, it would be bad. But now he put both in one sentence. That at least gets a dilly-dilly. Oh my God. What is happening? Is this a real, this has got to be like a decades-long social experiment, right? There's no way this is real. He's the guy that I learned about with the experiment where you have one person go into a doctor's office and everybody there's actors, and they're the only real person. And then, they hear the bell and everybody else stands up and sits right back down. And the one active participant is like, what the fuck is going on? And then every 5 minutes or whatever, you hear the bell and everybody stands up, sits right back down. And eventually that person starts to, is he doing that? Is he trying to do, are we the people in the doctor's office that don't know what the fuck is going on? I think we might be. There's no way he made the same argument. If things were different, then I would be totally right.
Many audiences. But the irony is, if he were a better person, he'd be a more dangerous person, right? If he were a smarter person, a more committed person, I mean, if he could possibly commit to something beyond himself, right?
Like being president of the United States.
And make, he'd be more dangerous, right? If he were less distractible, etc. So I don't view him as a Hitler figure, but I do. Well, everyone who's calling him an authoritarian, which sounds a lot like fascist, and you turn up the dial.
And so, if we go back through your social media and your podcast, then you will be very strongly saying, "Hey, guys, those of you that also don't like Trump should not be saying that he's a fascist because he's an aspiring tyrant. And if you use the wrong word, then, this is going to go belly up. And we got to make sure that people know that he's an aspiring tyrant, not a fascist." That's what the last 10 years of your podcast would be, right?
On authoritarianism, there's no important difference between what you're talking about and fascism. Then you're just talking about like the clothing and whether the Catholic Church was ever in the mix, and etc. So he's not as bad as Putin, right? But
oh wow, he's not as bad as Putin. Okay, I'll take the compliment. Equality said, on the subjects of neuroscience, superstition, and philosophy, he is good. On politics, a bit bonkers. I would say with those three things, he's great. Everything else, he does not know jack shit about shit. He does not know jack shit about shit. He's a smart guy, but Dunning-Kruger is a fucking bitch. Angry MBT said, I honestly believe in a few years there will be more mental disorders coming from social media. Example, TikTok brain, podcasting, narcissism, OF delusion. Definitely. Yep. He said, I'm immune to this guy's mental manipulation. He's a loser.
If we give him a chance to have as much power as he wants.
You mean like giving him the presidency on the popular vote?
Where does he stop? Right? He certainly doesn't. He would run for a third term if we just.
Oh, he stops at releasing the Epstein files. I'll tell you that much. But in terms of tyranny, I don't really know what you're talking about.
Where does he stop? Right? He certainly doesn't. He would run for a third term if we discovered that the 22nd Amendment just didn't apply, and there's just just an open fairway between him and the Green. Of course, he's going to run for a third term. It's like he doesn't care about the spirit.
Why is that bad? If there was no rule against doing something that would benefit him, he would do it.
How dare you?
Tell me why that is a thing that is bad instead of just making these blanket observations that don't even apply to reality. The fuck are you talking about? Shout out to our boy, Funk Master General, with the 10 gifted memberships. Oh my goodness. And of course, a treat for Morty there. Thank you. Shout out to Abe, Joseph, Deloya, Deborah, Vlad, D's nuts in your mouth. Angry Amputee. Oh no, that was another chat. Angry Amputee, you already part of that club, right? Mind Chaos Brew, Red Door Woman, Michael McNator, and the Gen X Boomer. You guys are now members of the channel. Make sure if you are, it would be on the stream. Make sure you click the pinned link. Come on through to the Discord server, guys, because you do not want to miss the after party. Thank you. So very, very much welcome to the party. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Welcome to the party, brother. Very, very much appreciated.
Green, of course, he's going to run for a third term. It's like he doesn't care about the spirit of the Constitution, where it's clearly meant that you should not. It's not that you can't be elected twice. You can't be president twice.
So I take your point about Trump, but let's come back because they don't only say it about Trump.
I didn't answer your question.
Yeah.
Still. So the question was, given that Charlie Kirk was, how can you say that the right is wrong?
back because they don't only say it
Okay,
about
I
Trump.
didn't answer your question.
Yeah.
Yes, certain terms are inflammatory and imprecise, but it's a much grayer area than you're making it out to be.
Mhm.
And
It's more complex. It's more complex. So now I need another 13 minutes to ramble on bullshit and not answer the question.
I mean, many people would say that what I've just said in the hour so far about Trump is just a species of that very, irresponsibility of condemning him to the point where, okay, any sane person is going to look at this and say, okay, we have a political emergency, and anything is warranted in resistance to this, right?
Shout out again to our sponsor of the stream, guys. We are almost at $600 in the Morty Memorial Fund. Again, he is alive and well, but when that is not the case, I very, very much will appreciate being able to give him an amazing memorial and keep him with me forever. So I very, very much appreciate you guys. We got the Rage page. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. Great point, Liberty said. If Obama ran again, the left would love it. Indeed they would. Indeed they would. He doesn't want to get run again. Well, now he doesn't. Now he doesn't because we don't fucking like him that much anymore. When he was doing the stuff that we liked, well, then everybody was like, yay, oh, cool, great. But when you start doing all this fuck shit, like, why do you guys care about the things that I told you to care about? Then we don't need it. Now, again, that still doesn't make him worse than Kamala, but let's keep it a buck. Let me just say, they talk about people not being qualified, but they would literally vote for Michelle Obama. Yeah, I agree. He is too old. I think all of fucking Congress is too old, but that's a problem that we're gonna have to deal with over a little bit more time. Shout out to Morgoth's Hammer over on Rumble. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Said liked and shared. My goodness, thank you again, guys. That stuff is really free, and it's really easy, and it helps out so very much. It doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just by you telling YouTube X or Rumble that you want more people to see this stream, they will show it to more people. Hit that share. Thank you so very, very much. And more guys said Kamala would have been a total disaster. Yep. Instead of having a few things that I don't like about the president, we would have been in hell.
And anything is warranted in resistance to this, right?
I mean, tell Steve Bannon that.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying we have a political emergency, right? And we need our institutions to function to contain the damage.
But do you know?
I'll say 70, but not bad. Rage Page said if it was an FU to the people who voted for Kamala. Yep.
To contain the damage.
But do you not think that it's really important when you criticize your political enemies?
I just want to tie a bow on that. I agree, Rage Page, that it was an FU to the people who voted for Kamala, the Trump 2028 thing. But that doesn't mean that A, people like Steve Bannon haven't been very serious about it, and B, that people are people on the other side are seeing it as a serious thing, and as we are witnessing at this moment, acting as if it is a real thing. So that's why I was like, even talking about it like that, this isn't helpful.
Important to be honest. It's really contain the damage.
All right.
But do you not think that it's really important when you criticize your political enemies?
It's important to be honest.
But it's also important to be accurate. In the same way that you can think somebody's a terrible person and their politics are awful, it doesn't make them a pedophile, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can think that Donald Trump is slimy and maybe he's got some ethical things. That doesn't make him a fucking fascist. That doesn't make him an aspiring tyrant.
Kind of escalatory language, I personally think is highly dangerous. And when you live in a country like America where you have access to guns and there's so many people with mental illnesses, I mean, that's dangerous.
But nobody uses more inflammatory language less responsibly than Trump.
The left? What are we talking about, bro? You're just
but nobody uses more inflammatory language less responsibly than Trump and
bad
his enablers, right? I mean, so again, Elon jumped on X and basically said, our political opponents are murderers. The left is the party of murder. There is no party of murder
Except for the fact that we've seen a bunch of shootings and they've all been from the left. Is that not the case, Sam?
In America, right?
Oh, in America. Yeah.
Trump in his address to the nation,
Trump bad.
Immediately after Kirk's death, effectively said in so many words, not just that these Gen Z maniacs on TikTok were, responsible for his death. He effectively said that his mainstream political opponents were culpable for murder. Right?
Yep. Why do you think? Let's just play this out on the most basic level. Why do you think so many people weren't just happy? Let's go through the steps. It would be really bad. It would be really, really bad, right? Charlie Kirk died, and then a bunch of people are like, "Oh fuck, I'm kind of happy." Don't tell anybody, but I'm kind of happy about that. That would be bad, right? But now it's going one step further and saying, "Okay, you know what? I'm happy about it, man. I don't care who knows it." That would also be really bad. But it went a step further. Now people are willing to share that opinion online and say, yes, I actually was happy that this father and just citizen was brutally assassinated. That would be really bad, right? But let's take it a step further. Now they're dancing and actively celebrating. So then the question becomes, who is influencing these people? Because it's not just one. It's not just one crowd. It's not like it was just Hassan fans or whatever. It was all over. So who are these people listening to make them feel like that is okay to not only think, not only to be happy that you think that, not only share that with other people, not only celebrate it, but celebrate it openly online? How is that possible if the people that they are listening to are not expressing those types of ideas? Can't happen. Can't happen. Shout out to Cowboy Baby. Cowboy Baby Yoda. Welcome. Said, wait a minute. This man is Jesus. I'm not the Jesus. I'm just a Jesus, and a pretty good one at that. Welcome to the party. What the fuck is this shit? Just kidding. Liberty said, as someone who was an Antifa Occupy protester at one point, the left is definitely inherently violent. So is the right, but the left is to a much higher degree. Libertarian might be degenerate, but it's the best. I mean, hey, what can I add? What can I add to that? Shout out to Alien, a cowboy farmer. Welcome. We got two cowboys. You guys related? Welcome to the party. Richard said they cry and beat up on people in a historically accurate Nazi uniform. You gotta have our rules, right? Gotta have the rules.
That his mainstream political opponents were culpable for murder, right? Which is just not true. Again, everyone from Obama on down said this is fucking horrible, right? We have to pull back from the brink here. This is not,
except for all the people that did it,
acceptable on any level. And then you had people bending over backwards to sane wash Kirk's actual politics. Ezra Klein jumps on, his
sane wash. You got to sane wash a guy who just is a middle of the road Christian conservative. So what you're saying is that if you like Charlie Kirk's ideas, you're insane. That's not what was the word that he used? That's not ratcheting things up, right? He doesn't even know. He doesn't even know that he's doing it in this moment. The lack of self-awareness should be a blaring red flag. Morga, Equality said they certainly have some really crazy people. I mean, and sure, so does the right. But like we're saying, there's so many levels of social proof. Hey, this is good. Other people will like this. People didn't think that for no reason. But Sam, he's like, well, it's more complex than that. Morgan Hammer said nothing remotely degenerate about being libertarian. It's only rationally, it's the only rationally consistent position. I agree, but let's be honest. There's definitely some degen shit in especially the left-wing libertarians. Like, yikes.
Politics.
But that doesn't mean I won't get online and debate those things. I clipped a debate for what was it for but I clipped a debate that had to do with the toots, the
Then you had people bending over backwards to sane-wash Kirk's actual politics.
That's an insane sentence.
Klein jumps on that his opinion column at the New York Times that says Charlie Kirk was doing politics the right way, for which he got no end of left or center.
Charlie Kirk was practicing politics the right way. He was talking to people. Where's the pushback? What was wrong about the way that Charlie Kirk was practicing politics? That would be an interesting question from Konstantin or Francis, but just let him ramble. It makes me think that the Triggernometry guys actually believe this shit, but they happen to be a little bit more right-leaning in other ways, and they have TDS, so they bring people like Sam on to say these things and not push back, or push back a little bit, because they know their audience, right? That was a weird fucking comment.
It says Charlie Kirk was doing politics the right way, for which he got no end of left or center. Everyone was being sensitive. Everyone with any real platform was being sensitive. And what you had right of center were just, with the important exception of Kirk's wife, during her eulogy, right?
Oh, now we're going to talk about his wife. And yes, guys, I am debating Made by Jim Bob in 3 days right here and on the Speakeasy platform. You'll be able to see it whatever. And you know what? I was going to, take a lot of time and do a bunch of research and, really bone up on my philosophy and all that stuff. But I watched one of the debates that he did recently. I forget what it was. And I think that I really do think that he is overestimating how, what arguments are going to be brought to the table. I think he's assuming that because I'm an atheist, I'm going to be a leftist, and because I'm a leftist, I'm going to try to appeal to secular humanism. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. November 25th, me and Jim Bob, let's do it.
Important exception of Kirk's wife, during her eulogy, right, who struck a very different note. Stephen Miller's eulogy was madness. It was fascistic madness. This is right. Stephen.
I thought you said it wasn't fascism. Now it's just fascistic. He's not a fascist guy. He just does fascisty things.
It was fascistic madness. This is right. Stephen Miller is a character, apart from the fact that he's Jewish, he's a character right out of Weimar, right? He's a lunatic in how he messages into this combustible environment. Do you remember? Did you watch his speech?
I didn't watch his speech.
Okay, you should watch his speech. It was the most insanely vituperative.
Well, guys, of course, it does sound different to me now. There's no echo on that, right? But okay, what? Who are we talking about? What's his name?
His speech. It was he's a lunatic in how he messaged right out of. Stephen Miller is a character.
Stephen Miller. Okay, so let's do Stephen Miller. Come on. Shout out to Speakeasy right there. Oh my goodness, on this channel right here, guys. Look for the teddy bear. Look for the teddy bear, or just watch it right here. All right. What am I looking for? Stephen Miller, Charlie Kirk Memorial. 6 minutes. All right, let's see how fucking crazy, how insane, how unhinged, how authoritarian, how quasi-tyrannical this speech is going to be. Keep your hats on, guys. I have not seen this, and you might get triggered. Let's see.
Please welcome to the stage, Stephen Miller.
Fascistic!
Hello, patriots. Hello to our fearless president, Donald J. Trump. And hello to millions of Americans all across this land who are gathered in sadness and sorrow to mourn Charlie Kirk, but also to dedicate ourselves to finishing his mission and achieving victory in his name. The day that Charlie died, the angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts.
Shout out to Joe. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Patriots are fascists. Same thing. If you were listening to Sam Harris, you would know. They're the same thing. But of course not. The Equality said it's Dr. Evil. Oh my goodness.
Tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand. When I see Erica
Fascism!
and her strength and her courage, I'm reminded of a famous expression.
Misogyny. Just, ugh. How do you talk about women that way?
The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm. Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our
Fascism!
enemies cannot comprehend our strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will prevail over the forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened. They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us.
Oh, okay, here we go. Now it's getting a little heated. Shout out to the madman. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the party. Not a fan of MTG. Fair enough, fair enough. Rage Page said this feels like someone who had something to do with his death because he wasn't agreeing with what they wanted to do and are trying to take over the message. You're saying this guy sounds like that? Or you're saying what? Yeah. There's a pretty weak sauce for fascism at this point, but we're only halfway through. So it's going to get dark.
Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble.
Did he really say that?
And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are nothing. You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You
Waiting for the fascism.
can build nothing.
Like, okay, this is not nice. This is not nice. But let's remember, this is a memorial for someone that was assassinated.
You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity. You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy. And we will devote the rest of our lives.
Okay, fine. But you get Sam to say that, no, I mean, Trump is a fascist, of course, but like, they all are. I'm willing to have that conversation. But pointing him out as the fascist and everybody else is just so amazing.
Oh, hell no.
And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion. You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us. We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened. You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization.
To save this civilization! That! Oh, no, that's not fascism.
Save the West, to save this republic.
Saving the republic is fascism, though, right?
Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong. And what will you leave behind? Nothing, nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength.
I'll let you two work that out.
We built the world that we inhabit now, generation by generation, and we will defend this world. We will defend goodness, we will defend light, we will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us, you cannot frighten us, you cannot threaten us, because we are on the side of goodness, we are on the side of God. And to my friend Charlie, to my brother Charlie.
Such a fascist.
I know you are looking at us right now. I know you're watching Erica right now. I know you're watching your children right now. And I promise you, my friend, I promise you, my brother,
man.
we will prove worthy of your sacrifice. We will prove worthy of your time on earth. We will make you proud. We will finish the job. We will defeat the forces of darkness and evil, and we will stand every day for what is true, what is beautiful, what is good. And we will achieve victory for our children, for our families, for our civilization, and for every patriot who stands with us.
They really killed Charlie Kirk. How dare you have emotions? How dare you understand what the fuck is really going on? Well, no, it's just some, mental health. It just has nothing to do with politics. It has nothing to do with politics.
Shut up!
It's fascistic madness. I mean, this is right.
That's the fascistic madness that we just saw.
Like, Stephen Miller is a character, apart from the fact that he's Jewish, he's a character right out of
Hey,
Weimar,
yo!
right? I mean, he's a lunatic in how he messages into this combustible environment.
I did not realize that Sam was a groiper. That's what he hates, not the fascism. It's the fact that he's a Jew. Did not see that coming.
Right? I mean, he's a lunatic.
Yeah. Quality says, so this is basically a pep talk in a locker room? Super fascist. According to Sam.
In how he messages into this combustible environment. I mean,
Any
you remember?
examples?
Did you watch his speech?
I didn't watch it.
Okay, you should watch
We
his
did.
speech. It was the most insanely vituperative, just
What does vituperative mean?
Thank you for asking, Konstantin, because we were about to look it up.
of a pure hatred.
We are good. We will save the West. We will save the Republic. Pure hatred.
What?
What do you guys think? Projection. Maybe. It is you, sir. Maybe it is you, sir, who is filled with hate. And therefore, you must project onto the rest of us. You ever think of that?
Everyone left of center. I mean, just you people are nothing. We will destroy you. You have awakened a dragon. You have no idea what you and the not so much from him, but from other people on the dais that day. There was just this volcanic expression of Christian nationalist.
He mentioned God once. And Joe, I don't know how familiar you are with Sam's past and his coming up, but he was part of the New Atheists, and so he's gone like his first like mainstream moment was when Ben Affleck was yelling at Sam for saying Islam is the motherlode of bad ideas on Bill Maher's show, and he's like, I'm not saying Muslims, I'm saying Islam. I'm not talking about Muslims. I'm talking about Islam. And so that's what I was saying. Somebody brought up New York City earlier. I'm like, I wonder how he feels about Mamdani. That is very clearly pushing and inching more and more Islam into his, or maybe not so much inching more Islam, but inching out what is Islamophobia. And if you don't listen to what I say, if you don't like what I say, if you don't love every word, then it's Islamophobia. So, I don't know. It might be the fact, not the same thing. It might be the fact that if we do start looking to see, or we do start seeing some type of Islamic uprising, I would hope that would be enough for Sam. Because as I was saying before, that is the one thing that I believe could shake his dogmatic hatred for Trump. Could. Not would. Could. Will it? I don't know. But it is coming. So hold on to your hats.
Expression of Christian nationalist kind of just, I mean, it's just pure moral confusion and political hysteria from my point of view. I mean, it was their George Floyd moment. Again, yes, without the riots and obviously.
Well, go ahead.
He did not just say that the assassination I need a moment. All right. In case you missed it, I told you it gets fucking heated. Do you trust me or do you trust me?
It was their George Floyd moment again.
How dare you?
And yes, without the riots and obviously.
Well, that's quite a
And the criminality. How about that?
big deal, Sam.
No, it's
But this is what I was going to bring up.
It's a superficial deal.
Hold on a second.
No.
It's a superficial deal. No, you're a superficial deal. God damn. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit. So these two are just the hosts of this podcast, Triggernometry, Konstantin Kissin and Francis Foster, and the other guy is Sam Harris. Like I said, he was a big name with New Atheism in the mid 2000s, or like the 2000s to 2010s, and I was a huge fan. Some of his books unironically changed my life, but now he's this. Comparing George Floyd to Charlie Kirk. Like, well, but without the riots. Oh, okay. So basically, it's exactly the same, except for all of the parts that actually matter. That's a Sam Harris argument, if I've ever heard a Sam Harris argument.
It's their George Floyd moment again. Yes, without the riots and obviously.
Well, it's quite a big deal, Sam.
No,
But this is what I was going to bring up.
It's a superficial deal.
Hold on a second. Hold on.
It's a big deal, but it's not. No, it is a bigger deal to have the president of the United States come before the country and say, basically, half of mainstream America is a terrorist organization. Like those are not.
Who? When did? What? What are you referring to? I don't like how they're just like not asking for any type of, like, you guys know how much I hate this. Source. Shout out to Guamtech. I don't like infocuck debates and shit. But if that's what he's talking about, first of all, Antifa is not half the country. Unless you are fucking letting the mask slip. Unless you, Sam, are letting the mask slip and see that, oh, actually, we are all Antifa on the left. Unless that's what you're saying. Which I don't know, because you're not fucking saying anything. Did he drink the same thing as James Lindsay? No, it was the other flavor. Just I gotta ask, because the correlation is always there. Is Sam Harris a Semitic? If I remember, he does have... again, he's an atheist, but I do believe there is some Semitism in his blood. I don't think about things in that way, but since you're asking,
is a terrorist organization. Like those are not his words. That was the subtext of everything.
Oh, that was the subtext. The subtext. What was the text, Sam? What was the text? What did he say? Not what did your brain spin his words with your semantic obfuscation and then your brain encoded, oh my God, everybody hates everything. What did he actually say? My goodness.
Like those are not his words. That was the subtext of everything he's.
Yeah. Shout out to not Jeremy Renner. Please. Give me the exact text of what he said, where he said half of the country is terrorists. I'll wait.
Said in that address to the nation, it was completely of a piece with.
No, I don't. But I'm not claiming that he's saying this, and I'm absolutely positive that I would have heard if the president of the United States called half of the country terrorists. So go ahead and prove me wrong on my own show live on air. Go ahead. No. I am. Our time is different. We are in post-COVID. Okay, this is not our time. He's from the before time. He's a pre-COVID philosopher. I am a post-COVID philosopher. We are not the same.
subtext of everything he said in that address to the nation. It was completely of a piece with Elon's tweets, right?
The George Floyd thing, I think you're going way too far, Sam, and here's why.
There's no daylight between us about the George Floyd riots. I mean,
I know.
we view it in precisely the same way. I just view Trump differently.
Hold on.
Right, but so either you understand what the riots are and how bad that was, and the fact that it was built on such shaky ground, and that is completely different than what we're talking about, or you just don't care and you're lying. You can't have both. You can't have both. True.
Floyd riots.
I am not taking that. You are not clouding all philosophy and all philosophers because of this fucking cuck. Not happening. Not happening. Not on my show.
It's too far, Sam, and here's why.
There's no daylight between us about the George Floyd riots. I mean,
I know.
we view it in precisely the same way. I just view Trump differently.
Hold on. What I'm saying is something else. We agree that burning down cities and taking over districts in America and burning police stations and killing a lot of black people and these moronic chants of defund the police, which led to more black people being killed in their communities and in the cities. All of that's crazy, right? And wrong. Well, what I noticed, and I'm just telling you what I noticed, right, is when Charlie Kirk was murdered in this way, which I thought was horrific, and I think we do know, as far as I can tell, that it was politically motivated. And I would argue, you may disagree, but for me, the word Nazi and fascist has a very unique dimension to it, which is we have been trained as a culture to view these people as a specific threat to the democratic order, to minorities. It's when we think of a Nazi, we think of someone who's going to take over the country, destroy democracy, and murder millions of people.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yep. It's just yeah, totally. I personally have never called him a Nazi, but I just hang out with people who nonstop call him Nazi, and then I'm very confused when the people who listen to the people that I hang out with think that he's a Nazi. It's crazy, but he is a fascist.
Nazi is. So what happened was
I do think there.
Hold on, but let me finish.
Wow, really? You have an issue with the fact that our culture is primed to think of Nazis as people who are killing people and a threat to the liberal order. Come on, bro.
So what happened was
I do think there.
Hold on, but let me finish. Shut up! What happened was a lot of people on the right, and even people like you, and even people like us who are not even on the right, have been called those terms by some people. In your case, for being critical of Islam. In our case, for questioning the insanity of the left, etc. Right? In my view, that is putting a target on people's back. But the other point is, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, it was horrific for anyone really watching it and what happened. Mm-hmm. Did you worry for 1 second that there's going to be streets burning in America? Did you?
Nope. That's a good poll. Did you worry about rioting for CK's death? Be honest. We're all. I mean, we don't have any. We don't have. Sam's not here. We don't have to be all like, ooh, it's anonymous. Just genuinely. Were you worried? What did I say? Did you worry about rioting for Charlie Kirk's death? Yes or no?
Did you worry for 1 second that there's going to be streets burning in America? Did you worry that police stations were going to be burning down? Did you worry about any of that? Because I didn't.
No, but again,
So you're not going to stop and think about that question. You're just going to listen to respond. No, but the reason for that is because Trump bad. I apologize. I apologize to you guys. I wish I was doing better, but this motherfucker's leaving me speechless. I don't know what to say.
Police stations were going to be burning down. Did you worry about any of that? Because I didn't.
No, but again, the reason why it's an unfair, it's a valid point, but it's not as significant as you're making it out to seem. So
he just asked the question. He didn't make the point yet. So I think technically that does count as projection. Maybe the post-COVID philosophers are misusing the logical fallacy names. I will take that, but I do know that at the very least, it's a straw man. It's not as significant as you're making it out to seem. I haven't made it seem to be anything. I just asked if you worried about it. But he knows that, oh, well, that means that maybe then the people who were affected by their George Floyd aren't as violent. But it's not as simple as that. Okay, Sam, give us the complexity.
And I have a piece with a point that many people made during the elections, right? When businesses in Beverly Hills are boarding up their windows, right, in anticipation of political chaos. Should the election go one way or the other, many people, right of center, pointed out, okay, the people are boarding up those windows not because they think Trumpists are going to start looting Williams-Sonoma.
Right. It's the left that's going to do it. Is he realizing he's wrong, or is he just saying something so directly? Again, I don't even know what exactly. Nobody is worried about Trump supporters committing violence. That's the point.
Because they think people right of center pointed out, okay, the people are boarding up those windows not because they think Trumpists are going to start looting Williams-Sonoma.
It's going to be the left.
Should Trump lose, right? There was just one side that was being worried about in those moments.
Uh-huh. And that's not the party of violence because...
And it was indecent on some level not to notice that, right? Same point.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
Same point. I mean, agreed. Same point. The left is violent, the right is not. But what is your point?
So that, yes, it is true that the left, and especially the Black community, expresses itself in that way when the unhappiness gets dialed up to 11.
Hey, yo! What? Did he just say Black people are inherently more violent? This is, oh my God. Oh my God. I did not expect that. Oh my God.
It just, so that, yes,
Yeah, can we get Morty a treat for that, please?
is true that the left, and especially the Black community, expresses itself in that way when the unhappiness gets dialed up to 11.
Black people are gonna riot, but if you don't vote for Joe Biden, then you ain't black. So we know that when white people, the Trump lovers, when the white people get upset, they don't express themselves in that way. But black people, according to Sam Harris, that's just what they do. What? Bro! Holy shit! Holy shit. Let me see what you guys are saying. Talking about DEI. I'm going to try to jump in on your conversation, see if I can pick it up. If not, then ignore me. Liberty said the government props up corporations that follow the federal government edicts. And if they are government contractors, they even dictate the race of their leadership. Yep. The federal government forces government contractors to enforce DEI standards that discriminate against people based on their race. You're going to tell me, going to sit here and tell me that's not fascism? Oh, we're still on the fascism thing. Okay, fair. DEI is definitely on the out, but I would agree with Liberty that is irrelevant to the question. Joe said, I'm more of the mindset of the English, to be honest, but I'm worried I'm worried there won't be a revolution. Wait, he said that? Sam said, I'm worried there won't be a revolution? Or what do you, is this going over my head? Or are you guys talking to each other? Sorry. The rage page. Oh, come on. Where is it? So again, we have the poll saying, did you worry about rioting for Charlie Kirk's death? There it is. And the rage page said, I said yes, because I was scared. They were going to show up at the memorials and destroy stuff and start fires and riot. Oh, they did do that. I should have specified that people who were mad about Charlie Kirk being killed. But yep, you're right. So we were wrong. There was a bunch of rioting and fires because of Charlie Kirk, but it was people on the left. Good catch. Good catch. Wow. I mean, I think we need a new one for when I miss a good point. That was empty. I could lie to you, but all right, moving on. The federal government has the power right now. Therefore, corporations to force corporations not to hire white people. I mean, yeah, I think that's Madman. I think that's what he's saying. That's illegal, except that they're doing it under the name DEI, and that is why Trump won. I mean. Yeah, I mean, this is not my boy! This is not my boy! Fuck you! Fuck him! No! Okay? Sometimes really bad and stupid people have good ideas. I'm sorry, but sometimes bad and stupid people have good ideas. This is a bad and stupid person. But in 2003, he had some damn good ideas. Just said, bro, looting is self-expression. It's free speech. Harris been watching too much Destiny. Bingo. Yep. Hey, shout out to Funk Master General again! With the 5 gifted memberships. And of course, a treat for Morty. Where does that get us, guys? We are getting close. I'm going to have to do some math. Give the Overlord his treat. Your wish is my command, sir. Thank you. Out sponsoring yourself. Let me do the math. And let's dive right back in.
The unhappiness gets dialed up to 11.
For the blacks. One more time. If you're just joining us, welcome. Welcome. That is Morty. And I am your host, Lutch, a.k.a. TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of Common Sense, live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. But I'm pretty sure Mr. Liberal TDS, Sam Harris, just said, well, of course we didn't worry about Trump supporters rioting after the election. That's what black people do. Or I think he said that's the left, specifically black people. But let's go over it again, just in case you missed it, because I don't exactly
Especially
remember.
the black side that was being worried about in those moments. Trump lose, right?
Okay, yeah, right here.
Should the election go one way or the other, many people right of center pointed out, okay, the people are boarding up those windows not because they think Trumpists are going to start looting Williams-Sonoma should Trump lose, right? There was just one side that was being worried about in those moments. And it was indecent on some level not to notice that, right? Same point. It just, so that, yes.
So again, the point is, left violent, right not violent.
Is true that the left, and especially the black community, expresses itself in that way when the unhappiness gets dialed up to 11. What I worry about on the right is
something very different, because, there's no black people over there.
Is a much greater concern ultimately,
Jesus.
And it's hardcore political violence, like Timothy McVeigh style, truck bomb violence, and
he's got to go back to OKC. What was that? 93? 93? That's what we're talking about. Violence from 93. Because Timothy McVeigh was definitely a Trumper. I would imagine most people did like Donald Trump in 1993. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What the fuck are you talking about? But I believe, if I have done my math correctly, that means not only are we $600 into the Morty Memorial Fund, but we are at 50 out of 50. That means we hit the goal. So we gave Morty his treat. And now, something special. Shout out to Funkmaster and Carl. The only ones tonight. But hey, It's coming through. Well, okay. So now we need Morty music, and we need Morty music, and we need I don't know. Okay, whatever. Fuck it. Bum 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 bum. So now, guys, since we have hit the stream goal, not only does Morty get his special treat, not only do I have to do a push-up for every $2 in that out of the 50, so you can keep adding push-ups, but also every new donation gets a refill for Morty. Let's make him happy, guys. Fuck Master General. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, guys, if you were gifted the membership, make sure you hit that link at the top of the chat to come and hang out in the after party. Thank you so very, very much. Let's dive right back in.
Based hardcore political violence, like Timothy McVeigh style, truck bomb violence, and real militias, really committed and trained people who have been training for years, some of whom are Nazis, right? I mean, they're not German Nazis, but they're neo-Nazis. Mm-hmm. There's much more of that on the right. When you look at just the fringes of gun culture, and again, this all predates this moment. I mean, we could have had this conversation 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. There's much more.
You seem like you are having this conversation 10 years ago. Oh, wait, I mean 20 years ago. That was 93, right? What year was the, okay, that is Timothy McVeigh, right? 95, okay. Right, that was him, right? Yeah, okay. So 95, he's got to go back literally 30 years. 30 years. But see, it's not that simple, you see? Because the Timothy McVeighs of the world, I honestly have not been this speechless in so long. Wow. Yeah, right? Why don't we fucking talk about the LA riots? Because it's not convenient to my point. I'm Sam Harris, and I know that black people, they like to riot. But Trump supporters, the white ones, don't. And Trump is a fascist because of that. What? Give me a syllogism. Sam. Black people do this. Trump does that. Therefore, what? What is the fucking point that you're trying to make, except for the fact that just like all the other rich white liberals, you have the bigotry of low expectations? Nothing.
The powder keg of
Hey, shout out to Joseph. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. How ya been? We are watching Sam Harris dig himself a hole. And again, guys, Morty's got his special treat, and every single donation gets him a refill. Welcome to the party. Madman, Sam Harris. It's like saying when black people rise up, they burn their local town down. When smart white guys do it, they are much, much more successful in their goals. Sounds like a typical white liberal to me. I mean, what other way can you interpret what he just said? He's like, well, yeah, of course. Of course we didn't expect riots for Charlie Kirk, because most of the people that like him like Trump, meaning they're white, meaning they're not violent. But when you try to tell me, the person who thinks that only black people are part of the left, except for me, because I'm one of the good ones, and then we obviously have rioting and violence, where is the grounding? What is the first principle that you have that is leading you down all of these things? I don't understand. What is it that you are doing? What the fuck are you talking about? You want me to talk like Alex Jones for the rest of the stream, brother? I can do it. Let's go.
Real political violence and civil unrest in this country.
I don't know. You're right, though. Sam Harris being like, what the fuck I will be honest. When white liberals are that openly racist, it is a little wild. I can't do that. Yeah, no, we ain't doing that. But I mean, you're right. I definitely I go up a few octaves when liberals are like this.
Powder keg of real political violence and civil unrest
From who?
in this country that is consequential. It's not just looting and burning, but
looting and burning is not consequential. I didn't know that. I thought that those things cost money, and I thought money was based on labor, and I thought people like you think that labor is the end-all, be-all. Only when it's convenient. Shut up!
Like, it's your AR-15s that you've been polishing for years and training on for years.
Ooh, an AR-15! I've never shot a gun, and I know how fucking cucked and beta that fucking sentence is. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. Jesus.
AR-15s that you've been polishing for years and training on for years, and you've got 10,000 rounds of ammunition already stored for this purpose?
Yeah, you're fucked, Sam. So it's almost like if the right was the party of violence and they already had the guns and the ammo, then we would have seen, wait for it, some violence! But we haven't. So how does that make sense? Oh, it doesn't! You're just talking shit. You're just talking shit. Is it Davey? Davey said many consequences of these people. Nope. Angry said not like it affects people's insurance or anything. The insurance companies. That's such a rich liberal take. Well, it's just property. You can buy more. Can you though? Can you actually buy more though? How many businesses never recovered? Yeah, the BLM riots of 2020 cost $2.6 billion in non-insured costs. But, we're just talking about the consequential rioting. That's all. Just the ones that have consequences. Just said, what's a few million broken windows in a politically scared population when MAGA has guns? What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? Trump bad. Oh wait, no, that's his line.
On for years, and you've got 10,000 rounds of ammunition already stored for this purpose. Those people are right of center, right? And
yep.
Is it not telling that you have to go back to Timothy McVeigh? I mean, that's what the
1996.
No.
Oh, we got a little bit of fucking pushback. Thank you. Finally, that's what I said. You have to go back 30 years. And it's November, so almost 31. You had to go back 30 years to find any meaningful right-wing violence. That is when it's time to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Is it not telling that you have to go back to Timothy McVeigh? I mean, that's what the 1996.
There are other. That's just the big one. There are other examples of
such as.
Even just in this recent cycle. And this is the thing.
Such as, because all of our favorite people, all of our favorite pundits on the left love to, talk about that stat where it's like 97% of political violence comes from the right. But then that comes from Islamic stuff as well. And Sam, we know that you're not ignorant to what's going on with Islam, right? We know that. So I think we got to do a poll. Is I already got polls up over there. I don't want to mess that poll up, but one's in the chat. If you are happy that MTG resigned, and 2, if you wanted her to stay, 2 to stay, FHL, welcome to the party.
Of even just in this recent cycle, and this is the thing that was so dishonest about Trump's address to the nation. He talked about political violence and political assassination as though it was well established that it was only a left-wing thing. But even with Kirk's assassination, it's still, in recent memory, has been more of a right-wing thing. I mean, there's simply more incidents of.
And again, yep. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. So they talk about left-wing versus right-wing, and you can see all the numbers way up here. And you know what they include in that? Margarine Taylor Green. Yeah, it is only a left-wing thing. You know what they include in this in this chart as right-wing violence? Prison riots that have to do with neo-Nazi stuff, like white supremacist stuff. Because, you know, in jail, the white people are very politically involved. That has nothing to do with gang culture. It's about politics. You know what else is included? All those Islamic self-blower-uppers. Okay, maybe not. And, you know, if they're talking about America, I don't think that happens in America that often. But when they talk about right-wing violence, Islamic terrorism is combined. And it's pathetic and sad that it's sad that they are still fucking using this. King Trump. Well, I don't know about all of that, but you know, I'm with them for now. Welcome to the party.
It's still, in recent memory, has been more of a right-wing thing. I mean, there's simply more incidents of right-wing political violence, including assassination. Or
what does it say? What does the fact check say? The CSIS states left-wing attacks and plots as a share of all terrorist attacks and plots reached a record high in the first half of 2025. So I wonder what, even when we count all of that shit, why the precipitous drop? And then, where do we think this this chart is going to be in another 5 years? But anyway, so the terrorist attacks reached record high in the first half of 2025, although the decline of other forms of terrorism plays a significant role in this relative increase. The
attempted assassination. And then there's just ambiguous ones, which is frankly a crazy person who's not ideological and represents nobody. But
so it said the decline of right-wing terrorism in 2025 is striking. And then it says explanations are speculative. So, AKA, you talking shit. Because even if you want to go based on your own numbers, as of right now, y'all up here, we down here. So maybe yesterday, I don't know what was going on here. I don't know what the fuck we're measuring here. But clearly, this is not anything that is damning to the right. I mean, god damn. Angry mom is a bad candidate? What? Did I miss something? Oh, the MTG? Joe said, so is it her? Why is she quitting now? That some Epstein files are getting released. Internal politics? Yeah, I don't know. It was announced while we were live, so. Imagine if people, or the left, wanted to get along with Trump. We get so much done. Left are willing to shut it down for 1/12 of Trump's first year to have zero progress. Bingo. Yep. Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's where's she from? Not Minnesota. I don't know. One of you guys know. The classification of left-wing in everything in social sciences is bullshit. Yep, and that's why I will talk about the fact that I do have a degree in psychology, so that when shit like this comes up and it doesn't actually match, I can tell you firsthand the overwhelming majority of social sciences and psychology is bullshit. There are real things that we know about the brain because of psychology, but not really much. No, I was arguing on another stream that neuroscience is part of psychology, and I was wrong. So shout out to Section 230. He is right that it's not neuroscience specifically is not psychology. However, there are still real studies done, but by and large, psychology is bullshit. It's just bullshit.
It's just frankly a crazy person who's not ideological and represents nobody. But
which you would say are all the left-wing people.
The attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer was a punchline right of center.
No, the fact that a dude in his underwear was dealing with a guy with a hammer was the punchline. But you know that, don't you, Sam?
Literally, Kirk himself used it as a punchline. Elon himself has used it as a punchline. Trump himself has used it as a punchline. It's literally been a laugh line for all three of them. This guy was almost killed with a hammer by a guy who is somewhat ideological, also probably crazy, but certainly right of center, who was planning to torture Nancy Pelosi.
Yeah, that's a weird fucking situation. And so the fact that that didn't happen and that it was odd makes it a punchline. Nobody is, ha, you got hammered. Okay, maybe some people are, but if you have a problem with that, then again, we have to go back to the Charlie Kirk videos and ask yourself, who is it that is giving this rhetoric that makes it okay in someone's mind to make a dancing celebration video from a political assassination? There is no way that you can make it bad to laugh at the Nancy Pelosi or Paul Pelosi thing and it not be worse that people are celebrating a death. That cannot be. That is not logical.
Should she be home, right? This was not funny. And again, that level of callousness and recklessness and cruelty that you're worried about in using a term like Nazi indiscriminately, so much, there's been a fire hose of that on the right? Yes, there are people on the left who are dangerous idiots. I will be the first to admit, but it is different when it's coming from the Oval Office. It's different when it's coming from people. It's like for every one of those people who, the Gen Z.
So I would not be able to find anything from the White House, from Joe Biden's White House, that was inflammatory. Nothing. Remember Dark Brandon? That's coming from the White House. Where were you then? Silent.
Maniacs who made a video celebrating Kirk's death. There's an equivalent lunatic on the right who's much closer to power, right? Like people who've got like Laura Loomer's phone number in their phone are crazy and dangerous, right? I mean, like this.
How dare you?
How dare you have your representative's phone number?
What?
I would assume that let's see. If we go and try to get Laura Loomer's phone number, now obviously we're not getting her personal cell phone number, but okay, it's not gonna be right here. But I mean, you can fucking find the number to her office. My point is that it's not a fucking crazy thing to have the number of a fucking politician. What are you talking about? Loomer bad.
Right. Who's much closer to power, right? Like people who've got like Laura Loomer's phone number in their phone are crazy and dangerous, right? I mean, like this is not.
And again, are we going to back that up, or are you just going to say things? Just saying things.
There's a fever swamp as you move right of center. And again, we'll talk about Tucker and Candace and Nick Fuentes. And like as you begin to move rightward and toward the weird, right? And you get into QAnon and you start glad handing all the anti-Semites and conspiracy theorists. It gets very, very weird, very, very dark, and very, very well armed in a way that isn't mirrored on the left.
Oh yeah, what's the line that the Marxists used about guns? Because we have shall not infringe, and they have their other thing that like I don't remember the line, but they have a fucking a Marxist quote that they always used to be like, "This is why we need guns." Now, fair enough. That might be people further on the left than people who want guns that are far on the right. But you put all the pieces together, and guys, it's not good.
And that's an important difference. I'm not worried about, yes, who's gonna, if you tell me that Louis Vuitton is being looted in Beverly Hills, I'm pretty sure I know who's doing it. I'm not as worried about that.
Wait, why? Why are you not worried about rioting?
Sam, and just for the people watching, and you said that this was a George Floyd moment for the right, you weren't saying that Charlie Kirk and George Floyd are equivalent in who they were as people.
No, thank you for connecting that.
Yeah,
that would be helpful.
Apologies for the people who are already typing them.
Yeah, because you know how people like to then I don't need to explain that.
It was a George Floyd moment in the sense that the level of emotionality and lack of caution and lack of honesty around the messaging.
What lack of caution, honesty, what lack of honesty around the messaging did we dispel? Oh, just making shit up again, are ya?
Was equivalent. Right now, it's not. Again, it different from coming from different people and different levels with different implications. But yeah, I mean, what I saw at Kirk's memorial, some of it was fine, and some of it was actually beautiful and inspiring.
Well, remember, Kathy Hochul, fucking, what's the word? I'm lost with words today. I'm sorry, but she backed him. She backed Trump Downey. And Actual Justice Warrior was just talking about how he thinks that that's going to come back to bite her in the ass. Is it next? Yeah, next year for the gubernatorial race. So, I mean, at least until then, they can do whatever they can get done.
And some of it was just a patent explosion of Christian nationalism and an appeal to theocracy, right? And
oh, so you mean the bunch of Christians were saying we should be Christian?
How dare you?
And again, it kind of I mean, Elon's tweet was all this in crystal form.
Yeah.
To say that the
Was
left
it?
is
Really?
the party of murder,
Yeah.
right? Which is going to be interpreted as not just the fringe of the fringe of the fringe.
Because the people making videos celebrating murder were not the fringe of the fringe of the fringe. What is the point that you're trying to make here? Do not let me forget to check the comments on this. Holy shit. I wouldn't be surprised if they turn the comments off, but that would be really stupid because that's why I think they're not pushing back. That's why I don't watch this podcast that often. I think that they are fucking rage baiting the shit out of us. And Sam is just too stupid to know that he's like, oh yeah, Sam, come on back. We haven't gotten to this many views or comments since the last time you were here.
In some trans cult somewhere who happen to have guns.
Yeah, I don't know if you missed that, but he said that Charlie Kirk was the right's George Floyd moment. But it wasn't a bad guy, and there wasn't any rioting. So what was George Floyd about it? Somebody that you didn't like died? I didn't have strong feelings about George Floyd, but to be fair, fine. He wasn't espousing political ideas that I don't agree with every day. He was committing crimes. Actively and before that, but I didn't know that at the time. And I'll be honest, I was very upset when I saw the video. The first video that didn't actually show what happened.
No, the left is synonymous in that statement with effectively the Democratic Party, right? I mean, just the mainstream political opponents of Trump.
Yup. Did you have something to say about that, Sam?
It's totally irresponsible, right? And that is it.
One's in the chat if you think he's not ever going to explain why it's irresponsible.
That's a level of demonization. I mean, what we have to. I mean,
it's like a sneeze. I mean, there's just like it's just. I mean, it's. Well, there's some. But George Floyd.
To take this from the kind of the highest level, I mean, like this comment is true now, and it'll be true 50 years from now. What we have to.
Want to bet?
Surmount here to live sanely are two things: tribalism and dogmatism. I mean, like the tribalism, dogmatism.
And you're experiencing both right now. Your tribe is the left, and your dogma is that they are right and Trump is bad. You know who I learned about the evils and devils and horrors of dogma from? You, Sam! What happened? Oh my God.
Are the generic software flaws in our politics and in our culture and in our personal psychology, and social psychology.
Projection. Because he's not specifically projecting that onto us, he's only bringing this up because he thinks it is us who experience that, and we are the ones who are engaging in tribalism and dogmatism, and not him. So for that, you are projecting.
That make solving all of these collective problems impossible, right? I mean, and it just the antithesis of both of those things is intellectual honesty. I mean, one of the reasons why I criticize religion so much is that religion's the only area of culture where tribalism and dogmatism get this new gloss, and they seem like virtues.
Yup. And what's the newest religion in the world, Sam? The newest religion in the world is wokeism. And you fell face first into that shit, you fucking moron. You fucking moron. I am only smart enough to understand that being woke is bad because of your words, Sam. If that is not a testament to how strong and dangerous dogma actually is, then I don't know what to tell you.
They can be made to pass as virtues, moral virtues, moral necessities, intellectual virtues. We call the dogmatism of religion faith, right? When you don't have good reasons for what you believe, and you're immune to the good reasons of others that are countering your beliefs, and there are certain conversations you refuse to have because you got these cherished beliefs that you want to guard from all streams of evidence or argument, right? We call that faith, but no, that's just dogmatism, right? In fact, the word
projection. Your dogma can be explained in 2 words. You don't need many words when little words do trick. Trumpet.
Dogmatism is it's a Catholic term, it's a Latin term. Dogma is a good word in Catholicism, right? I mean, it's not pejorative, but in the political space, tribalism and dogma. What's wrong with identity politics? What's wrong with the woke mob and cancel culture and all the blasphemy tests left of center and all that? That it is the tribalism and dogmatism of all of that. And insofar as
and now you're doing exactly the same thing with your ideology. Just that is one fascinating thing to think about. I also got my questioning nature from old 2000s atheist arguments, and somehow all these people fell to dogma of the modern consensus. Not Richard Dawkins. Not Richard Dawkins. He softened up in his old age. He's like, well, I guess I'm a cultural Christian because I like Christmas. But all the rest of them, one by one by one by one. Now I'm the most base atheist. Like, what is happening? That should not be the case.
Mirrored on the right, it's the same problem. It just has different nouns and verbs associated with it.
Well, look, I'm glad actually that we're talking about the right, because one of the things that we've been talking about on the show more and more is seeing the right, and who have always marketed themselves as a party of, shall we say, facts and logic, even though that's a hack term. And then,
so here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna skip to where he talks shit about our people. We're gonna skip one chapter here and make sure we hear him talking all that shit about Rogan, Dave Smith, Tucker, Candace, Owens, all these people. We want to make sure we get that in. Of course, you guys know you can keep the show going with any donation, and every single donation not only comes with a treat for Morty, but also a refill.
Okay, but isn't there also a way that you could say, look, some of these ideas are going to be bullshit, some of them are half-truths, some are going to be highly controversial.
Bullshit.
Which, in a few years' time, you look at in the cold light of day and was like, well, it was unpleasant, but it was true.
Okay, wait a minute.
Like
Joe,
stuff about COVID, for example.
Okay, but at the time, I called that correctly.
Yeah, but
so let's back this up a little bit and see. Just
he's not.
Okay, yeah, there we go. Right. All right, I'm just gonna go right here.
And he's done it with RFK Jr. He's done it with all kinds of maniacs, right? I mean, these are people.
This is Joe,
who are, in many cases, liars. Some of them are probably mentally ill, right? Some of them just have character defects where they just love to touch find me a third rail and I'm going to touch it. No matter how combustible our society is, no matter how little I know, I'm just going to keep touching the button to see what goes off.
Projection!
Dave Smith, again, another, Dave Smith is not a morally sane voice about the war in Gaza. Right?
Haram!
Why? Because he hasn't been.
Right now, he is the person he is because of what Joe has made him. Right, and that debate with Douglas, I've commented on with Douglas about what I thought.
Oh, tell us. Oh, please, Sammy boy, tell us what you thought of the Have You Been? Like, this motherfucker's spitting.
Went wrong there, but all of this has created immense harm in our culture. Right, we're all in the business.
Unlike, the assassination of Charlie Kirk, that didn't create immense harm. But Tucker Carlson
of building culture. Culture is the operating system of our society, right? I mean,
then why are you trying to destroy it?
Everything we care about is a matter of culture working better and better, or worse and worse, right?
Right. And so, which way would you say that's gone over the last decade?
Whether we can solve any of the collective action problems we need to solve, whether this.
I mean, we could. We had a problem where there was a very small minority group of kids who were confused about their gender. We could have had a cultural fix to that and be like, no, you're allowed to be a tomboy or a femboy. But males are males and females are females. But people like you fought very hard to change that culture. Or rather, should I say, erode that culture. So good job.
Solve any of the collective action problems we need to solve, whether our species survives is entirely a story, apart from an asteroid impact, it's entirely a story of whether we can sort our culture out enough so as not to annihilate ourselves.
But also, parents shouldn't be allowed to tell whether their children get to keep their genitals. What?
And you literally have people doubting whether the Holocaust was even a thing in the context of the greatest explosion of anti-Semitism we have seen in our lifetime, in the middle of a very clear clash between aspiring Islamist theocracy globally and the West, and Israel being the tip of the spear of all of that. Massive moral confusion being spread in our society around that, quite consequentially so.
I didn't forget about shit. My last stream was about Thomas Crooks and why we're not getting answers there. Hey, shout out to the captain of the moral felon crew. No, sorry, Morty, no refill yet. Adam said I got 99 problems, but lunch ain't one of them. Welcome to the party, sir. Guys, remember, we have already hit the swole goal, so I've got push-ups to do, but I can knock out 25 push-ups easy. You want me to suffer, you don't have to pay. And of course, every donation comes with not only a high-value treat, those things ain't cheap, but a refill. Oh, he saw me pick it up. All right, well, this is a freebie, because I feel bad for him. But if one of you wants to hop in, I ain't gonna stop you. All right, diving back in here. Welcome to the party, Adam.
Moral confusion being spread in our society around that, quite consequentially so. And Joe is doing as much as anybody to spread that confusion, and he doesn't know it. I mean, I think Joe.
Oh, he doesn't know it. He's just. Actually, you know what? I did listen to Theo on Rogan. Do any of you guys listen to Rogan like regularly anymore? It's kind of gotten bad. Joe he's into his boomer stage. I mean, when we think about the fact that he was a young, open-minded 30-something year old when he started, and now he's getting up there, and he could do better. A bunch of times Theo was like trying to make a joke, and Joe was like, wait, let me finish the point that I'm making about the same thing that I talked about last time. That too. But yeah, so all right, maybe Joe is not ideal, but is he damaging the culture? No, not as much as people like you saying the things that you are.
Joe is a good guy. I don't think he wants to harm anybody. I would not say the same about Tucker Carlson. I mean, I think they're
projection. I don't think Sam wants to hurt anybody. But I mean, with rhetoric like this, Yep, Joe's a lefty. Joe said maybe Crowder was right. Weed cooked Joe's brain a bit. Well, maybe the other drugs too. No. We like weed over here.
Completely different types of people. But there, I mean, it's a disaster what has happened on Joe's podcast politically and culturally. Yeah, he's done thousands of podcasts. Thousands of them are great, right? But there are
but when you talk to Trump, all the people that tuned into the Joe Rogan experience to watch Donald Trump, they hated him, and then like magic, just on a dime, they were like, I guess we need to be racist and white supremacists. Let's vote for him. I think you're right. I think he's jealous. He used to be well-respected, Sam Harris. That was a decade ago. Put a 1 in the chat if you have a child that is 10 years old or older. Just curious.
Thousands of them are great, right? But there are, but
there's one, so Joe's bad.
Approach to this. He's taken absolutely no responsibility as a journalist or as an intellectual or as a historian or as a scientist because he doesn't view himself as a journalist or an intellectual or historian as a scientist. He's a comic and he's just shooting the shit with people and he's just exploring his interests and great. It's Joe Rogan University. But
it's not a university.
He has to recognize that he's doing more than that. He's doing more than that just by virtue of having the audience that he has. But he's also doing more than that because he has this taste for conspiracy theories. He's got this taste for contrarian and
yeah. So all of you who have children that age, that's how long Sam Harris has been trying to get back to what he once was. Rage page. Before your son was even conceived. Whore! Just kidding. I'm kidding. Before he was even conceived, Sam was still this guy. And he was a very different person before that. Again, well-respected. Legitimate scientific work. Legitimate spiritual work. Respected by other, religious, or not other religious people, but people like within the religious community. Not anymore.
Establishment views and the debunking of the elites, right? He's bought into that side. Like the scales are not just balanced in a truly open-minded and kind of intellectually disinterested way. No, he's got an appetite for the false flag operation, right? Like if there's something, if the non-standard view.
That's always what the show was, dude. You were on it. Shout out to On It. Get it? Get your alpha brain. No, but you were on the show. You know that it's not some fucking political thing just because Joe's gotten more political when CNN fucking went after him. That's y'all. That's y'all's people. They want to act like I will definitely give you this. The right, over the last 10 years has been extremely reactionary. I'll give you that. Unless you are unwilling to acknowledge that there is something that we've been reacting to. You can't react without an act. That's what re means. So all the issues that you have here, dude, maybe they are, in some states, or in some cases, they're legitimate issues. But you're ignoring the reason they exist and thus will never, ever understand.
Can be spun at all. He wants to hear about it. And that acts like a bug light for maniacs. Right? I mean, then you just get these. There's an endless number of people who seem to have the right credentials, and many people who don't obviously have the right credentials, like Dave Smith. But you can get an endless number of people with
credentials. Oh, I remember what the credentialed people were telling me during COVID. Do you? Did you listen to them? Me neither. Shout out to the pure bloods. If you are a pure blood, get your drink up. You survived the most aggressive propaganda campaign of, depending on how old you are, our lifetimes. Much respect to all the rest of the purebloods.
PhDs or MDs or whatever the requisite degree is.
You know, like Fauci.
Who are crazy, right? Or just terrible people, right?
Or both. Like Fauci.
When you have a platform like Joe has, you have a responsibility to not just lay yourself open and your audience open to a fire hose of bullshit and half-truths and lies.
Why? Where is that in the Constitution or the state legislature that you can't just have a podcast where you just talk shit? Oh, you just don't like it. I just don't get what Harris believes. Me neither. I don't know if he believes the current left-wing stuff. I only know that he is scared of the right wing. That is it. That is the entirety of it. Trump, bad. You like Trump, you bad. Because Trump, bad. Trump, bad. That's what he believes. I would love, as a former fan and someone who will still recommend those books before politics hooked his brain. I will still recommend those books. I still very commonly think about how I can, square the circle that I think people have agency but not free will. That's from his book. I still believe that spirituality is a very important part of a fulfilled life, even though I don't believe in religion. That's from him. The book is called Waking Up, A Guide to Spirituality Without God. This fucking book changed my fucking life, dude. Oh, come on, open it. This book changed my life. A Guide to Spirituality Without Religion. It's not a long book. It's a great book. Whether you like religion or not. No, he's the reason I got unconfused. Trump is the reason he's confused. And I mean, yeah, you can say, no, I'm going to close my eyes. No, I already have the right answers. Go for it. I'm not saying you got to do that. You can sit in you can sit in your home and think you have all the answers to the universe all you want. You don't. But you can think whatever you want. But the fact of the matter is that a shared reality does exist. And if you're going to engage in that reality, then you have to be willing to be wrong. Even if you're really, really smart in some areas. And Sam's not willing to do that.
To a fire hose of bullshit and half-truths and lies.
Okay, I'm going to be 36 in, holy shit. I'm going to be 36 next week. Oh shit, are we streaming for my birthday's a stream day. Y'all better come the fuck through. Is that real? Oh shit. A Friday stream for my birthday? I would love to see 5K. I would love to see 5K subscribers. But if not, we could definitely have some money rolling in. The 28th, November 28th. 1 week from today. 1 week from today. And so that being said, yes, I got my degree in 2012, but I'll take it. Shout out to the Vinny Garth. So the voice shows your true self and it's gay as fuck. Oh my God. Just because you want to fuck me doesn't mean that I'm gay, bro. Projection. It's 2025, bro. If you want to suck a brown dick, just tell people you want to suck a brown dick. It ain't going to be mine, but it's okay. You saw this and you thought about gay. That's you. Welcome to the party.
Isn't there
unfiltered?
Okay, but isn't there also a way that you could say, look, some of these ideas are going to be bullshit, some of them are half true, some are going to be highly controversial, which in a few years' time you look at in the cold light of day and was like, well, it was unpleasant, but it was true.
Okay, wait a minute.
Like
Joe,
Stuff about COVID.
The fact that Joe was right. Oh, firehouse are bullshit, except that all the bullshit was not bullshit.
For example.
Okay, but at the time, I called that correctly.
Yeah, but Sam,
no, you didn't. You are right now still not calling it correctly.
Everybody, I mean, that was so easy to see as an instance of left-wing, politically correct overreach, right? Like calling the lab leak hypothesis racist at the...
Okay, then what's your issue with Joe then? Because, fair. When you're like, oh my God, ivermectin, horse dewormer. Like, okay, if that's your fucking issue, but if you think that he was right about that, then what is your fucking issue? Trump bad. He liked Trump. He talked to Trump. Trump bad.
Overreach, right? Like calling the lab leak hypothesis racist at the time. I mean, the very hour, the first instant of this happening, every sane person who's not indoctrinated into wokeism at that moment saw, okay, that's
Sam,
bullshit.
I don't think you're remembering this correctly, with all due respect. I remember, and
oh wow, a little bit of actual pushback.
Just tell you our perspective as people who make videos on YouTube, right? That we were having conversations about, are we allowed to have this particular discussion about COVID or masks or vaccines or whatever?
I love to put the ladies to sleep.
Okay, that's a bigger conversation.
And the Wuhan thing, because if you'd said that was the case at the time you were not allowed to say it, YouTube would literally nuke your YouTube channel, right? So when Joe pushed back on it, which I'm grateful to him for doing on that thing, he was leading the way in challenging some of this public health nonsense.
Yup.
Right?
Okay, yeah, so yes, if you want me to say that some conspiracy theories are true, yes.
But it's not a conspiracy theory to say a well-documented medicine will work for the thing that it's well-documented for working for. This is cope. Some conspiracy theories are true, and it was the fact that this conspiracy theory was true. But you're not even talking about that yet. We haven't even gotten there before there was any conspiracy theories about anything. I'm talking about Joe specifically. I know that the lab leak theory predated the ivermectin thing with Joe, but we're talking about Joe. And he said it's a fire hose of bullshit, but all of the bullshit was not bullshit. So what is the issue? You either think he was wrong or you understand he was correct. If he was correct, then you shouldn't be mad. And if you're mad, then you think...
So you saw conspiracy theory, Alex Jones is going to get it right some of the time.
They're turning the frogs gay!
That doesn't vindicate Alex Jones.
You're goddamn right it does.
Alex Jones is a madman who has created tremendous harm, full stop. It doesn't matter how long the list of things is that he was right about. I mean, he is endorsing.
Yep, I wasn't wrong. We were all wrong. Except the people who weren't. You know, the people who are not credentialed. He said, I take ivermectin. The apple flavor one tastes good. Well, that's for horses.
How dare
You must be a racist. That's what Sam told me. You are right, yep. I mean, Jay's got a point. Welcome to the party. I mean, Konstantin's trying to give some pushback. But he's like, I'm going with it. I'm going with it. Welcome to the party, Jay. That's the energy we need.
I mean, he is endorsing every crazy conspiracy allegation. Some are going to be, at some point, you're going to say, oh yeah, this thing that seemed totally implausible and even irresponsible to entertain, turns out that was right. The CIA did do that.
But it's also
So then what is your issue?
on a more prosaic level, like school closures. We had Boris Johnson, our former prime minister, who actually said the school closures that went on in the UK were wrong and it damaged a whole generation of children. And
Maybe a generation and a half.
maybe if there'd been more people to push back on that,
Right.
we could have actually dealt with.
You can count on one hand. I mean, so the postmortem on COVID. I mean, I guarantee you that the postmortem on COVID that passes for truth in Joe's world is not true. Like, I mean, on Joe's account, COVID was just a cold.
So Joe wasn't completely right, but he was right about some things that I was wrong about. So the fact that he thinks things now that aren't right means that I win. What? The mental gymnastics. The mental gymnastics. What are we doing, brother? Jay said, it is physically and physiologically impossible for any leftist to ever even consider the possibility that they could be incorrect on any topic ever.
Bingo.
That's the experience I've had. Sam, admit that it came from a lab in China. Oh, that would have been a great question. That's exactly why I'm sticking with the, well, you're on the vertical, right? So that's exactly why I'm sticking with the comment. Because Konstantin's pushing back a little bit. But Francis is just sitting there. You know, kind of always just sits there. But if you're on the right, which Konstantin claims to be, there should be a lot more pushback here. Rage Face said that was the goal. They focus on the youth. They are easier to manipulate and mold.
Bingo.
Yikes. Facts. Scary facts.
Like, I mean, on Joe's account, COVID was just a cold.
Yup.
The vaccines were fucking dangerous,
Potentially, yeah.
right? And may have killed
More dangerous than just natural immunity, absolutely.
a lot of people. And in Brett Weinstein's
May have.
world, the vaccines killed millions of people, right? And etc. Right? So
That's it. That's the crazy thing, that most people who got COVID are fine, and so we can compare it to a cold.
How dare you?
What a bad man. Bad man. Just like Trump bad. Etc. I didn't clock how fucking stupid that was. Oh, hold on. We gotta do it again. Hold on. I'm empty. Hold on. Because that deserves, like I said, when I miss it, you guys come in clutch. Dilly dilly. Back to it.
And etc. Right? So all of that's upside down, right? Yes, there were some very clear.
Yada yada yada. Oh! Well, we'll put the music on for the reference itself. For the reference itself. I mean, I know. Come on. I know it's other Larry David, but. Okay, so if I stop it in the middle, then the next time I play it, it's gonna start in the middle. StreamYard, fix that. But hey, we're not getting an echo, so I'll take with that. You know, yada yada.
So all of that's upside down, right? Yes, there were some very clear moments where the mainstream political
He's acting like one.
messaging or public health messaging.
He's not Behave. So Behave said, I don't get why this guy is highly respected. He's obviously trying to manipulate people into believing anything right. Anti-based is bad. I could see MSNBC if I wanted to hear that. So that's why he is no longer respected. He wasn't always this guy. And again, like I said, he stayed in his lane. So many times we've talked about people who are good at a thing. They're good at a thing. And because they're good at that thing, then they're like, oh, especially when they're the best. Maybe they're not the best, but they are seen as the best. Because Sam was seen as the most chill atheist debater. He had ideas of spirituality. He wasn't like any type of experience has to be based in the brain only. And he had a little bit more, I'll say, wisdom when it came specifically to spirituality, despite being an atheist. And then he got into politics, and he thought that because I know about neuroscience and psychology and yoga and Buddhism and meditation, I must know everything about everything. And so the first thing I see and hear and think when it comes to politics, that must be correct, because I can't be wrong. I'm Sam Harris. I can't be wrong. Mainstream message was wrong, and you went with it. Bingo. He is no Dawkins. I have yet to dilute this. When you're right, you're right. All right, I'm back. And guys, we have 10 minutes left. Remember, any donation keeps the party raging.
Mainstream political messaging, or public health messaging, was disastrously bad and or dishonest, and that was super consequential. And there were things were kept closed for much longer than they should have been.
5 more supers will double the swole goal, meaning not only will I have to do 25 push-ups, but I will have to do 50. 5 more, any amount. Let's fucking roll it. There's one. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. The rage page with the $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much. First, we get Morty his treat. And then we get his refill. I gotta pick a song to actually sing. I keep singing just different random shit. Right on the gooch. Get some on the gooch. Oh, lick it up, baby. Lick it up. There you go. There you go. Thank you so very, very much. Adding, of course, to not only the Morty Memorial Fund for when this motherfucker passes, but making me do more push-ups. Thank you so very, very much. 4 more, and the goal is doubled from wherever it is. So now this is 52, so that's 26 push-ups. Keep them riding. Jay said the only reason people like Sam make money is Caucasian leftist females feel terrible about being Caucasian. Again, I will be in full honesty about 10 to 15 years ago, I did buy 2 of his books. But like I said, that was before he broke his brain on the stuff that he actually knew. But yeah, that's been the last decade of his career. The mainstream message was obey or else. America survived the most of, that's exactly why I say with the, to the purebloods. If you are a pureblood, if you did not take that vaccine, then you survived and fought back against one of the most fascistic, but also strongest propaganda campaigns, arguably, in our lifetimes. So, one more time to the purebloods. We are few, but our blood and our semen will be very, very expensive in just a few years. Quote me on it.
And there were things were kept closed for much longer than they should have been. We were not nearly as flexible as we should have been in just understanding this was a moving object, and with each new variant, things were changing, and that the science is catching up to the problem, and there's lots of scientific uncertainty at every stage along the way, and there are people covering their ass, and it's not a plandemic, right? Well,
No.
But it's.
I mean, you sure about that?
But it's just whatever. Again, if you just add up the indiscretions of people covering their ass and people not knowing what they're talking about, and it being a moving target, and us doing lots of stuff for the first time is really difficult, and lots of people also dying, and there being a real risk of the healthcare system collapsing, it explains 99% of how badly we handled it. But the lessons being drawn from how badly we handled it, in many, many cases, are the wrong lessons. I mean, we're living in land of hallucinations right of center around what should have been learned from COVID. I mean, again,
oh, sorry, I didn't add to the banner, and of course, the party rages on.
COVID was a dress rehearsal for something quite a bit worse that we f***ed up the dress rehearsal, and I hope someone's learned.
How dare you?
We fucked it up. Now it's we. We fucked it up. We had it wrong. Did we though? I had it right from the beginning. I remember when Papa Lutch was like, well, no, this, what was the second one? The Delta variant. Now the Delta variant is coming on. Maybe, maybe we should take this seriously. No! And I was like, hey, you're old. Yeah. Go get your fucking shot. I was 30. What the fuck do I need a fucking shot for? If I'm gonna get sick from the shot, and I potentially could get infected with the virus and not get sick at all, then explain to me the calculus that if I potentially get this very low percentage chance of getting sick that I could die, well, okay, why don't we deal with that when we cross that bridge? I'm not going to. It's like, it's the same fucking mentality as, well, let's go blow up another country to make sure that there's not a war. Well, then that's just a war then. What?
We f***ed up the dress rehearsal, and
this motherfucker.
And I mean, I hope someone's learned actionable lessons that can be implemented in real time next time. But what I fear has happened is that as a culture, we're actually less prepared for a worse pandemic because of how badly we learn the lessons of our failure.
Speak for yourself, motherfucker.
Well, no, I agree with you. And I think there is no doubt that COVID broke a lot of brains. And by the way, I can't...
Namely, Sam Harris.
Can't speak for Joe, obviously, but I suspect if you speak to him, he'll feel that you went crazy over COVID.
Yeah,
and if
no,
I speak to
100%.
you,
he has no idea, but one of us is right.
He has no idea. Yeah, one of you is right, and it ain't you, bro. It ain't you, bro. You're so close. Yeah, well, obviously. He has no idea. But one of us is right. Projection. You can't make this shit up. This is like talking to a woman on the whatever podcast. What? He has no idea, but one of us is right. I think he does have an idea. I think you don't have an idea.
Crazy over COVID.
Yeah,
and if
no,
I speak to
100%. He has no idea, but one of us is right. He's. You
could both be wrong.
No. Okay.
Okay, fair. I'll take that. But there is no question that Sam is wrong.
I guarantee you that there is.
No, you're not.
A consensus understanding.
Shout out again to the Rage page, keeping the party raging
around what happened during COVID that is not in Joe's brain or in the brain of most of his audience, and it's in broad strokes the best understanding we have. It's not to say that we know down to the last person who died of COVID.
Again, this we stuff. We have all of this information. Do you though? Because we have a bunch of information, and it's different information. And yet, we still know more than you.
Loser.
But within an order of magnitude, we know what happened, right? And that's not what Joe is saying about COVID.
Let me make the point I was going to make, which was...
Yeah, a lot of people, I made that calculation. And I think it is a... what's the word? That that's a bad thing on the part of all these companies that fell in line. Obey. And I don't have kids. I don't have a wife. I got Morty. It's me and him. So I was definitely in a better position to be like, well, fuck you. I'm not taking that. But also,
more about why COVID affected a lot of people the way that it did, and broke people's brains is a strong statement. I use it because I do feel that happened. there was, and I'm not talking about Joe specifically, I just mean that a lot of people felt this way, not felt this way, a lot of people ended up being much more conspiratorial coming out than they came in, right?
Wonder why? I wonder why. Maybe it's because people never forget. Or if you're only... You'll never forget. Maybe some will forgive. But I will never forget. Do you remember that Atlantic article? Who remembers? If you've been here for a while, you definitely should remember. If you are new here, please do hit that subscribe button. Of course, this is the Overlord Morty, and I am your host, Lunch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of Common Sense. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So hit that subscribe, and you know that YouTube sucks at those notifications, so just ring the bell so you can never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever. Again, nobody remembers the Atlantic article? I'll pull it up.
Ended up being much more conspiratorial coming out than they came in, right? Because we had this thing called public health, and we had this other thing called science, scientific truth, right? And we went so far over, and these two things are in tension, because if you're trying to communicate nuanced, complicated.
So, this is from Halloween 2022. Right in the heart of like, okay, maybe we don't really need to be doing all this stuff. And the lefties are like, well, let's just, we were all fighting, and some people are saying some things, and some people were saying other things, but we all were doing some stuff. Let's declare a pandemic amnesty. Let's focus on the future. No! How about that? Give me a fucking apology. My whole thing here was I would be willing, because I do think that y'all, the Atlantic and their kin, their ilk, they did create a lot of problems that we still need to solve. Or at least at that point still needed to be solved. But you are not in the position to be like, all right, let's just... That would be us. That would be us. We're like, fuck you. You're a second-hand second. What the fuck am I trying to say? Second-class citizen. There we go. You are bad. You are evil. You're a super spreader. You're this. You're that. Oh, okay. We were wrong about that. Whoopsies. And then if I want to be like, hey, look, I know that you were brainwashed because you didn't listen to me. So let's declare a pandemic amnesty. Well, then, I'd be a great fucking guy. And I'd be willing to do that. But that's not what this is. This is, well, we were wrong, but it doesn't matter, right? Right? Wrong. Shout out to Adam with the $2 make you holla. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Said COVID-19 showed God has a sense of humor when calling. Oh, take it. So there's his treat. And he cleaned that shit out. All right, that one's he's gonna have to fight a little more for that one. There you go. Thank you, sir. And the party rages on. Thank you so very, very much.
These two things are in tension, because if you're trying to communicate nuanced, complicated, ultimately unverifiable scientific theories or hypotheses to a public with an average IQ who are in panic and fear, scared for their lives, they're being fed all kinds of crazy stuff in the media, you have to take the scientific truth. And you have to, this is best case scenario. This is why people being corrupt.
Scientific truth, he said. We're talking about COVID, and he said scientific truth. Okay, bro.
Without Fauci having funded the lab in China, all of this other stuff, right? Just in a perfect world.
Which he did, in case you didn't know.
You have to condense that complex scientific truth in.
Don't forget, if you are broke, that is totally fine. This is a free show. But if other people are paying to make sure the show is running, please at least hit the like button on the fucking super chat.
To public health messaging.
Yeah,
and
which is a political process.
And that process ended up going so far over to public health, and then you add on top of all other things that happened, cover-ups of certain things that we now know to be true, or as best we can, like where COVID came from, etc., that a lot of people went, well, this thing you told me in the interest of public health was actually just you lying, right? Because it turned out not to be true.
Well, but in many of those cases, it was.
Yeah, there's nothing immoral about being wrong. Like, yeah, there was a lot of moving pieces, but you seem pretty goddamn sure. And then when you're shown to be wrong, you apologize. You get the mea culpa. You have accountability for your words and your actions. Look at him. Look at him. And you guys, can the vertical people say, oh my goodness, he is living life right now. Thank you, thank you, thank you so very, very much, guys.
Not just people lying.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But if you're being
Let's back it up.
as best we can.
Yeah.
And
which is a political process.
And that process ended up going so far over to public health. And then you add on top of all other things that happened, cover-ups of certain things that we now know to be true, or as best we can, like where COVID came from, etc.
A lab in China.
That a lot of people went, well, this thing you told me in the interest of public health was actually just you lying, right? Because it turned out
6 feet. If you stand 6 feet apart, then you can't get it. If you wear a mask while you're walking from the host stand to the table at the restaurant, then you're not gonna get it. You can take the mask off at the table because you know COVID. COVID don't like hamburgers.
not to be true.
Well, but in many of those cases, it was not just people lying.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. But if you're being bombarded with messages and told you're a terrible person for not believing them, and you then discover that those messages were actually false,
Right.
most people are going to say, I have been lied to.
Yeah.
Right? And so we've ended up in a very conspiracy.
Like, yeah, of course. Like, and what's your point? The point is that we were fucking lied to by people like you, by people who you still respect and give authority to.
Territorial world, partly, I think, because of what happened during COVID. And by the way, if you lock people in their homes for 2 years, some of them are going to loop it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But part of the burden that our public health authorities couldn't effectively shoulder was that they were messaging into a polluted information landscape that was poised.
Polluted by who? Polluted by who, Sam? That is the fucking point. It was not polluted by people on the right. It was polluted by the liberal economic order.
To be this conspiratorial and this distrustful of authority. And in large measure,
I don't know why I said economic order. You know what I mean?
Independent media is culpable for that. I mean, it's the Candace Owens of the world and the Joes of the world who were calling bullshit where things were actually bullshit and
There's no way he's saying, I must be mistaken here. I must be misunderstanding. He is saying that the people like myself who felt like we were lied to because of what Candace Owens said? Is that the argument? No, I said maybe the most human thing you can do is admit you're wrong. Or maybe Sam Harris has never been wrong.
What?
Actually, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know.
calling bullshit on absolutely standard science. And I mean, the people who Joe had on his podcast again and again.
Podcast? Hello, welcome to my podcast.
Science. And I mean, the people who Joe had on his podcast again and again, Brett Weinstein and all the other ivermectin cultists.
Ivermectin cultists. Didn't you just talk about intellectual honesty, Sam? Ivermectin cultists. You mean people who took their doctor's advice as you told them to do? You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. I might have to. We got see the only the problem is that for the clips that I want, I need them like this because y'all motherfuckers don't watch clips. So I need shorts. But, bringing up ivermectin is super thirsty. Oh! Max. And it's the third time he did it. Third time ivermectin has been unironically and unsolicited in this conversation.
Brett Weinstein and all the other ivermectin cultists, that was genuinely harmful, right? It's not.
Was it though? Or was calling people ivermectin cultists for taking regular ass medicine genuinely harmful?
Stupid.
That they were wrong about everything, but they were wrong about most things, and it was dangerous.
But what about the vaccine? When you have people coming out going, if you take the vaccine, you're not going to be able to pass it on.
There was a moment that, okay, before we had a vaccine, Republicans and Democrats died at the same rate. Once we had a vaccine, Republicans died more than Democrats.
How much you want to bet that's not true? How much you want to bet that's not true? There's no fucking way that is true.
That's true.
That's bizarre.
Yeah, okay. I all right. We'll see. So we'll go to the super liberal ChatGPT. So is it so we'll just Sam Harris just said that before the COVID vaccine, the left wing and right wing people died at the same rate, and then it significantly and then deaths significantly spiked on the right. Is the what exactly is he referring to? See, this is, you got to know how to prompt, because if you just say, "Well, is this true?" then we, whatever. But asking what he is referring to doesn't make it seem like I'm trying to come in and prove him wrong. I'm just trying to establish, information. I would imagine that that you can cross-reference medical records with voter registration. But like, what does that mean? Grok only goes off what people talk about, not about fact. Is that true? I didn't know that. I happened, ChatGPT just came around first, and Grok seemed like a weird thing. I didn't trust Elon so much at the time, so I have no problems with Grok. Grok definitely, when Midjourney was still a thing, Grok definitely did the AI art better than ChatGPT, but I don't know. It knows me now. So, I said Sam Harris just said that before the COVID vaccine, the left wing and the right wing people died at the same rate, and then deaths significantly spiked on the right. What exactly is he referring to? He's almost certainly referring to a real finding from a Yale NBER study on the excess deaths by political affiliation, not something he made up. Here's likely what he meant and what the data actually show. Excess deaths. So, researchers linked voter registration in Ohio and Florida to mortality data. Gotcha. Excess deaths here means more people died than would normally be expected based on pre-pandemic trends. Okay, so now we're comparing this not to pre-vaccine and post-vaccine. We're comparing pre-COVID to post-COVID. So before the vaccines were widely available, the gap in excess death rates between Republicans was relatively small. In their adjusted analysis, the difference was about 1.6 percentage points, or only plus 22%. In other words, both sides died and the rates were not wildly divergent on post-vaccine period. After April and May 2021, when the vaccines became available, the gap widened dramatically. Their analysis shows that excess death rate gap increased to 10.4%. Republicans having 150% higher death excess or excess. So then, Caveat. Okay, this is based on registered voters in 2 states, so it's not necessarily a full generalizable thing in the U.S. population. Excess death is not necessarily all directly from COVID infection. Excess mortality could come from indirect causes, i.e., overwhelmed healthcare system, delayed care for other conditions. So this is bringing in the died with COVID or from COVID or next to COVID or knew somebody that once had COVID. And like I fucking thought from the beginning, it's fucking bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Hey, said it's so convenient that the flu ceased to exist during the COVID pandemic. Yeah. Fact is indeed tricky these days. Angry said, I'm registered blue and vote red. I'm registered blue for my wife's job. Fair enough. The Rage Page said it was shown making up people's personal life info and giving false dates on things. Yep. Madman said, if you live in a large blue place, you should register blue. You will never have any say in a red race, but you might be able to sway the blue more to the right than the left. Take New York City, for example. Cuomo was the Republican running. Yeah, there's a lot. It's not every state, but many states allow you to, many states you have to be, for the primaries, you have to be in that, you have to be registered to that party to partake in the primary. So a lot of people will switch their the registration every cycle depending on who's in office, so that if if the incumbent is Republican, then you want to be registered blue so that you can have an effect, as Madman is talking about, and vice versa. If you're a liberal and you you're a liberal right now, we got Kathy Hochul with Mamdani coming in, and so for the midterms, you're likely going to, well, I guess the midterms don't matter because it's an actual race, but you know what I mean. You can't affect it. What he said. I'm gonna leave this. What he said.
Our vaccine, Republicans died more than Democrats.
That's true.
That's
No, it's not.
bizarre. Shouldn't be that way.
It wasn't that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Where's the pushback with the from COVID and with COVID?
message. That's political.
all
That's a
other
consequence of
things being
political. Yeah,
Oh.
that's political
like,
messaging.
Obesity, all age,
Yeah,
all of that.
as far as I know,
Republicans
yeah.
tend to be older.
With Republicans also do tend to be older until Trump came around, which was way with the second, and was post COVID. This past election was way past COVID. So another good point. It's almost like just with wrestling KD. 90% of men who fight for their children in custody get their children. Therefore, all men should fight for their kids. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Right. But it was
No,
not factoring in that.
I believe that's
Okay.
it's just purely a matter of
So you're
vaccine
saying,
hesitancy.
so your claim is, just so that I understand, what you're saying is right of center people got anti-vax messaging, didn't take the vaccine, and all other things being equal, died at a higher rate.
Right.
That's your claim.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And honestly, Joe was a super spreader of those ideas. Right. I mean, so
Oh, now we can be super spreaders of ideas. So what you mean is successful. Jelly.
So last I looked, I mean, I haven't looked at these data for some months, but within the last, I think I did a podcast a couple of months ago, and the authority who I had on at the time, Mark Lipsitch, I believe, signed off on these numbers. I mean, do you have these numbers? I mean, how many people in the United States do you think died from COVID? How many do you think were saved by the vaccine? How many do you think died who shouldn't have died based on vaccine hesitancy?
I don't know.
We don't know, Sam, because that is not how science works. We don't have the counterfactual. We don't have a Earth 2 where nobody had the vaccine. That's how science works. But, psychology and shit. Well, what do you think? Like, probably it could have been way worse.
Right.
I don't think there's any way of knowing, if I'm going to be honest with you, Sam.
Well, no, there's a way of there's not a way of knowing exactly, but there's a way of
guessing in my direction and using logic to stand that, well, maybe if I was to be right about this, then I would be right.
Stupid.
knowing. You can triangulate on these numbers in many, but
Here we
based on
go.
excess deaths and just reported deaths, and I mean, the epidemiology of this is not mysticism. I mean, there's a scientific
I mean, it almost is.
understanding of just how people die and how many people are likely to die, in any given society.
Ask him about with COVID versus from COVID. I bet you he doesn't even know what that. He'd be like, what? If you were like, well, what about the with COVID versus from COVID thing? He'd be like, whatever are you referring to, sir?
Stupid. A given moment. We're not off by a factor of 10, right? Let's say we're off by 20%, but we're not. This is not like we think X and it's really 1/10 of X, right? Something like 1.2 million Americans died from COVID, right? Now,
From or with?
There we go. Final fucking Lee. Finally. Francis is a man of few words. But spot on here. From COVID or with COVID? Let's see if I'm right. Does he know? And is he bullshitting? Or does he not even have a fucking clue?
from COVID, right? Now,
From or with?
from COVID is the reason they died.
Okay.
Are you sure about that? How did you know that? Let's see. So now we're getting to. So he also made a claim about people dying. About people dying due to COVID, but he was asked about whether it was from COVID or with COVID. He confidently said that COVID was the reason they died. What could he be referring to in order to make that distinction? And what was the exact number that he said? Just so we...
1 point, Americans died.
1.2 million, right?
Something like 1.2 million.
Okay, 1.2 million. Good question. Well, thank you, ChatGPT. I do love to be complimented on my questions. What Sam Harris might be referring to when he confidently says people died from COVID rather than with COVID could be grounded in several blah, 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 blah. What died from COVID, we know what that means. Blah, 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 blah. Comorbidities are common, but that doesn't invalidate causality. Well, many COVID fatalities involve comorbidities like being fat as fuck and dying in a fucking car accident. It doesn't, having comorbidities doesn't mean COVID didn't cause the death. So let's even go wrong click. So if someone died with COVID, how would one determine that COVID was the cause and not the comorbidity? Hey, we got Kobe in the building. Welcome to the party. Sam Harris used to be friends with Joe. Now Joe lives rent-free in his head, jealous as a motherfucker. Welcome. Dylan said, nope. They said COVID vaccines made Sam a sample. I wouldn't be surprised if he drools all over himself. His brain is extra smooth, just like the peanut butter Morty loves. All right. So, yeah, if they have if someone died with COVID, how would one determine that COVID was the cause and not the comorbidity? Great question. Oh, thank you. And this is one of the most misunderstood parts of the entire pandemic debate. The with versus from distinction sounds simple, but in real epidemiology, it's more about causality, not just labels. Here's how doctors and blah, 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 blah. The trigger versus the background condition. Think like this. A comorbidity, diabetes, blah, 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 is the background condition. COVID is the trigger that can push someone into respiratory failure, blood clots. So if you're fat as fuck, so again, we are counting. If you are fat as fuck and you got the flu and would die, then they would say you died from the flu. and not from I know, but trust me, all right? I'm not just gonna be like, well, that's what it said, guys. Trust me. As I am currently fucking talking about. So they're saying that that's the background condition versus the trigger. So that is still making the point that you're saying if you have diabetes and you're fat and you have a heart condition, then theoretically, had you not had those comorbidities and you still got COVID, it is reasonable to think that you would not have died from getting COVID. But that's not how they're counting it. They're saying, well, because the reason that the person with these background conditions ended was the COVID triggered all of these other bullshit, then it's COVID's fault. I don't accept that. If you are telling me situation A, you have a healthy person, situation B, you have an unhealthy person, you have the same exact virus, and the person with no comorbidities is completely fine, and the person who's fat and all this stuff dies, I am not willing to accept that COVID was the causal factor. That is not how words work. That is not how medicine works. That is not how science works. Unless you're Fauci or Sam Harris. So again, I can just listen to he's much smarter than I am. Again, remember that Dogma does not care about your intelligence level. He's much smarter than I am. Yet I can hear when he says some bullshit. I can hear, oh, that's bullshit, without even knowing the numbers first. And I'm so confident that live on air, I'm going to ChatGPT to try to prove myself wrong and can't do it. What say you, Sam Harris?
Americans died from COVID, right? Now,
From or with?
COVID is the reason they died.
Okay.
Right?
Says the doctors who don't fucking know.
Not that they got hit by a bus and they also had COVID.
Okay.
Oh, the fucking bait and switch. Notice how he used the car crash. Even though there are people who have gotten in car crashes and were marked died from COVID. So, like, that's still a bad example. But he doesn't bring up diabetes. He doesn't bring up anything else. And again, then, well, what about diet? What about something like more similar, like diabetes or obesity? Could have done that, but just let him prattle on. Why not?
Now, that's not the bubonic plague in the 14th century, but it's also not a cold, right? It's yes, most of those people were old. Most of those people are not fit young men who didn't want to take the vaccine because.
Yep, it's not like the plague and not like the cold. It's kind of like the flu.
They heard about the heightened risk of myocarditis, right? I mean, there was all kinds of wrinkles there. It mattered, how old you were, in addition to being obese, etc. But this was a real health challenge before we got the vaccines. Now,
not for me. I never got it. And I was living with an old lady at the time. It was during the COVID stuff where I ended up here. My whole life was in one small bedroom because it was a whole thing. I kicked him out of place because of Morty and whatever. Could have given him away, but we weren't going to fucking do that. So I spent 3 years living in the back room of an old lady's house because that's my motherfucker. That is why we have the Morty Memorial Fund. I would appreciate if you guys could contribute. Thank you.
How many people do we think died because of vaccine hesitancy?
Why do we care what you think? Clearly, what you think is bad. How about we look at numbers and use logic to apply how those numbers map onto real life? Yep, notice it brushes over myocarditis, so he knows it was a risk, but he spent years telling everyone it was safe. Yep.
Who wouldn't have died had everyone who could have gotten the vaccine gotten vaccinated. That number.
So what does this say? The number is likely from a peer-reviewed, likely, probably, maybe not, from a peer-reviewed analysis by the Kaiser Family Foundation that cites over 200,000 preventable COVID-19 deaths in the U.S. among unvaccinated adults. The study represents data from May 30th to 21 to September 3rd, 22. Link in description if you can.
Around 300,000 right now.
I memorize numbers, so I'm right.
That's a lot of people. Again, most of those people are almost certainly old. You know, they're not 4-year-olds. I mean, it's like 1,000 kids or something like 1,000 kids died.
Oh, so you were against forcing the children to get the vaccine. Oh, no, you were for that. Okay.
From COVID.
I just got the most random craving for a McGriddle. Did they get rid of all-day breakfast at McDonald's where you guys are? I don't know why for years. I was saying, bro, I would be eating fucking McGriddles throughout the day. If I would ever pass a McDonald's when they had breakfast all day, I was getting me at least one McGriddle. Why would they do that? Who the fuck that eats McGriddles is up at a time when you can get a McGriddle?
But 300,000 people, it used to be a lot of people. Now, like
It's a huge number.
Yeah, but so what did it mean to have the world's largest podcast basically endlessly messaging?
I mean, I'm in Jersey, so we got diners up the wazoo, but heard.
To have the world's largest podcast basically endlessly messaging against the vaccine.
Jelly, 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 jealous, Cope Harder, you're jealous, Cope Harder, you're jealous. What a little forgot.
I mean, Joe can say he's not anti-vax, but the primary message around the COVID vaccine.
He can say that, but I'm going to say different, and I have a degree in things, so I'm credentialed.
And COVID itself, coming from his podcast and coming from the so-called experts he had on, was that
the so-called experts. The so-called experts. You mean the doctors that invented this shit? And also turned out to be right? Oh, but they're not credentialed. Just like Dave Smith. Have you been to doctor school, medical school? Have you been?
Vaccines are fucking dangerous, man. The vaccines, again, Brett Weinstein.
Did he just say vaccines are dangerous? Please fucking tell me he did not just say that. Please tell me he did not just say vaccines are dangerous.
The vaccines are fucking dangerous, man. The vaccines, again.
Yeah, bro.
Brett Weinstein told us that the vaccine is likely to kill something like 17 million people. Right?
I saw a credible estimate of something like 17 million deaths.
Sounds like an estimate, and I mean, okay, yeah, wrong, but your estimates are not right either. So, talk about being info-cucked.
Globally from this technology. So
17 million deaths from the COVID vax?
Well, when you scale up to billions, it's not hard to reach a number like that with a technology that's dangerous.
Zero evidence of anything like that happening. Right? That is a complete hallucination.
A hallucination. But because some people in lab coats who just made shit up agree with me, then they have the right answers. I mean, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse here, guys. I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. We're going on. What should have happened? What is the chapter called? What should have happened during COVID? Okay. Here's what are we gonna do? How many people are in the main stream? Okay, so I'm gonna put up a poll. Actually, no. All right, I'm gonna keep it playing for a little while, and then you guys are picking the last chapter. The last chapter.
So it was a problem that some of the biggest podcasts in the world, I mean, it's not just Joe, but Joe's was certainly among the biggest, had an appetite for this contrarian take on everything, such that let's just stick a mic in front of RFK Jr. I mean, he might be president. RFK, tell us what you think.
Yeah, that's what I would call journalistic integrity. But yeah, we don't want to talk to somebody who might be the president.
How dare you?
Right? He is a confabulation machine, right? It's some of it's lying, some of it's delusion, some of it's, I don't know what is wrong with the person, but
I get your point, Sam, and I think you make good, like, look, in terms of, let me tell you what we said on Triggernometry about this, and it's relevant to the point I'm going to make. I said specifically, I don't remember, Francis can speak for himself. If I were elderly or...
Can he speak for himself? So, we're going to do, one more chapter. I don't even know if we're going to finish the whole, thing, but I'm done with this fucking forgoshination. Do we want to do what should have happened during COVID, or what does he have to say on Islam? If you're on the vertical stream, just fucking tell me if you care, because I'm not ending that. Well, whatever. I shouldn't have done that. Whatever. Which chapter? Oh, it's not letting me highlight that. God damn it. So it's what should happen versus COVID versus Islam. Now, there we go. And yeah, PhD in cognitive neuroscience. The irony that is cognitively impaired. I mean, like I said, you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up. Let's not be mean to Sam. Why? He was this close to having Kamala as a wife.
What?
What? What is this a thing? What are we talking about here? We got 2 votes for Islam and no votes on the vertical stream. I'm going to wait for one more vote. Unless it goes 50-50.
I don't remember. Francis can speak for himself. If I were elderly or overweight, I'd definitely take the vaccine. And given that I've had COVID twice, I probably have a lot of natural immunity, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of left it there. And it's ultimately up to you. Speak to your doctor. The most important thing is that you take professional advice on this. That's what we always said, right?
And if you've got comorbidity.
Yeah. But if I were 75 years old and morbidly obese, I'd be taking the vaccine. That's what we said repeatedly, right?
But you're not. Did you?
I mean, just to give you a point of reference, that's my view of it as well. Like
Is it though? Is it though? It doesn't sound like it. I'm over this shit. All right, let's go to what should happen. Then they talk about Israel. Can Islam become more moderate? Let's see. And I'm glad you guys picked this, because I think, given that this is his area, this is his wheelhouse, I'm hoping that we get something to show that he's not just a lolcow. There was a time when he had things to say, and those things are not completely irrelevant. I have not heard any of this at all, this chapter, so I have no idea what we're jumping into. I selfishly want Sam Harris to look good in this realm. Here we go. Here we fucking go.
These specific commitments around things like punishing apostasy and blasphemy and in the fullness of time, maybe they'll do that. Under pressure, maybe they'll do that.
Under pressure.
They're not tending to do it organically.
Well, this is where Saudi and the UAE are interesting, right? Because they are trying to do this. They're trying to replace Islamism with a more moderate version, plus economic growth. So that young men in particular have things to do and a purpose in life and a family to feed and all this other stuff, and are not drawn towards these sorts of ideologies. Well, you seem skeptical about that.
Yeah, because I think these religious commitments are sincere for many, many millions of people. And also, it's just for everyone. I mean, wealth is not enough on some level. I mean, this is many people think they need religion. I mean, you're certainly aware of this, and you're talking about this more. And I mean, you and I view this differently.
Oh no, Sam, come on! I'm trying to. This is a Christian audience. We just need you to talk shit on Islam. I'm trying.
The burden
I'm
is on
trying
us
to help you out, brother.
Understand that the real depths of human flourishing need to be talked about in ways that are non-sectarian. I mean, the truth is non-sectarian. The truth is not Christian or Muslim or Buddhist or Jewish. So that's true of physics, and it's also true of the mind, right? Whatever's
Spit it
possible
out.
for us mentally and emotionally and socially, and whatever happens after death, and whatever's, it's like to believe otherwise is to believe that one isolated community 2,000 years ago that had no access to science or even scientific values, much less scientific tools, got it perfectly right, and everyone else got it wrong. Right? So one of these revealed texts is true, despite the fact that none of them seem to recognize that slavery was a problem morally, among other things. They know nothing about DNA or electricity or information science or.
Why did he say it like that? Electricity?
Things. They know nothing about DNA or electricity or
Weird.
Information science or the real scale of the cosmos or how disease spreads or anything, but they can tell you how to sacrifice a goat. And they've got some good wisdom in there too, but they don't have a monopoly on that because, the Greeks had that and the Buddhists had that. And, the golden rule exists in many different contexts. And, even monkeys seem to intuit some basic version of it when you treat them unfairly, or reward one with a cucumber and another with a grape. They tend to not like that.
Now that is a scientific study.
Whatever's true about us spiritually and ethically is deeper than culture, and it's certainly deeper than any ancient culture, right? And the fact that the world was partitioned by language barriers and geographical barriers for thousands of years, and everyone came up with different books, is an artifact that we have to recognize as an artifact. It's specious, it's spurious. It's not the actual foundation of our moral knowledge or anything else. And when you go into the Bible and read it and purport to find wisdom there, even if you're a fundamentalist, fundamentalists are picking and choosing the stuff that they think is wise and the stuff they think is better left ignored. And they're doing that on the basis of a larger cultural conversation that is secular and that has moved on. So it's like the fact that you're still not trying to figure out whether you should kill somebody for working on the Sabbath if you're Jewish and reading the Pentateuch, or whether you really need to hunt witches in your community for the crime of witchcraft, right? But the fact that you can ignore all that and just take the so-called good stuff, again, that's an editing procedure that is the gold standard of that is your own moral intuitions that have been tuned up by your engagement with the 21st century, your inevitable engagement with the 21st century and a wider secular culture, right? So none of these religions have a monopoly on anything other than their own sectarian ignorance and tribalism and dogmatism.
Including being a woke leftist. That is now, as far as I see, an official religion.
All of that.
And Sam, you are lost in the sauce.
Is best disavowed, and we can have a real conversation about the what is truly transcultural and deeper than the artifacts of whatever grandma had in her bag before we knew anything about biology or the human brain or
what grandma had in her bag. What?
Etc.
Etc.
But most of the world doesn't see it that way.
I'm gonna start using that. Listen, just like etc.
The world is mightily.
Or no. You got to say etc.
Attached to whatever they got at mother's knee about the unique sanctity of a specific book and what happens after death. And
I will give all of the money that I have that you guys have so generously given me tonight. I will give it to charity if you can tell me what the fuck he just said.
They've organized their lives around it. And in the case of Islam, you're talking about a much wider culture that has been insulated from modernity to a remarkable degree and has not had the same kinds of collisions with rationality or science.
Oh, that's so much better. We're at 1.3 now. 1.3. It's so much better. Shout out to Kitty. Welcome to the party. I did see something on TikTok about people using Clippy as their profile pictures. And I've been seeing it. It was on TikTok, but I'm seeing a lot more on YouTube now. And I don't remember what it was supposed to represent. What is that supposed to mean? My doggy. Oh, you're on the vertical stream. Hold on, let me see what we're seeing. Where are you at? We're live right over there. Marty is right there. Oh, he's waiting for food, guys. Don't forget, every single donation comes with a treat for him. And because we've already hit the stream goal, he gets a refill on his Kong. 99 cents will do it, guys. Thank you for joining the party. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We also got TDA Grim. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This guy is typical with no facts. Sam, yeah. Oh man. What? What?
What?
I don't know what we're talking about. All right. You've got mail. Yeah, that back in the day, if you know, you know. All right, let's finish this bullshit up again. All of the money. No, I know where Clippy is from. What I'm asking is, why is there a wave of people changing their profile pictures to Clippy? It's a representation, or it's a message. It's not just, hey, look. I mean, maybe Kitty is doing that, but in general, there's a trend of people doing that, and I forget what it's supposed to represent.
Collisions with rationality or science or secular politics, and so on some level, it's like we're dealing with the Christians of the 14th century in many, many places, and even on the streets of London.
On the show.
That's it.
The final question is always the same. What's the one thing we're not talking about that we really should be?
It's not. No, it's not. Well, I'll look it up.
Sam.
We'll look it up because I did also want to see the comments on this. So I'll look it up in a second. But it's a thing that has a thing. I think the 6-7 thing is just like a thing the kids say. But it does have meaning. And again, Kitty, let us know. Let's check the comments. What did the comments think of Sam Harris? Actually, let's look up. Wait. Let's do this first. Why are people? Why are you gay? Why are people changing? See, it's right there. People are changing their profiles. People are changing their profile pictures to Clippy as a form of protest against big tech companies. Started by Louis Rossman. See, I knew it. Shout out to Louis Rossman. The protest uses Clippy, the old Microsoft Office assistant, as a symbol for a past era of technology that was less intrusive and more helpful, as it did not engage in the extensive data collection or forced subscriptions like many modern services do. This movement aims to raise awareness and signal discontent with anti-consumer practices like data harvesting, censorship, and the erosion of the right to repair. There you go. You couldn't just tell me that, huh? You couldn't just tell me that. I met, or I didn't meet him, but I was on stream with him once. He's a friend with somebody that I started with Dr. Evil Genius, and he introduced me. So good dude. Shout out to Ruthless Admin. Yep, there it is. See, Rumble's got it. But yeah, Clippy has to do with Louis Rossman's right to repair. I don't recall the specifics, though. I did change mine on YouTube, so I guess I agree with whatever it was specifically about. And now I wish I didn't type. No, I'm glad you're here, brother. Glad you are here. So let's go and see, what did YouTube think of our boy? Oh, God damn it. I hate when it does this shit. Okay. All right. Okay. What do we got here? The pinned comment. No. I've never had an ad interrupted ad before. Got a YouTube ad overlapping. Oh, this is basically unwatchable between your own ads and YouTube. Oh my God! Shout out to sponsor block and ad block, which I do not use because those would be against TOS, and I know that. So I've done the perfect amount of skipping around so that you guys don't have to worry about it. Like having a TV on a fridge. Yeah. Too much. So anybody saying anything besides the ads? People were concerned about the Hunter Biden laptop, not primarily because of what was on it, but because not 1, not 10, but 51 security professionals said it had the earmarks of Russian disinformation. 51 people who should not have signed a letter did sign the letter. Suddenly, those of us who would roll our eyes at the mention of the deep state were like, whoa, what's going on here? Yup. This guy said, since you've had Sam Harris on a second time, why not have Victor Davis Hanson on it? I don't care about that. Ads. The real TDS is those who pretend to care about the Hunter Biden laptop, but not Trump's meme coin bribery. Well, we know. Let's see. Let's get into it. No, they're all fucking. This is how you know. I'm going back to who was it? To Jay. Going back to Jay, calling them three leftists. Look at the audience. Look at the comments. But Sam does the same exact thing. Claims to care about corruption. Says, I don't care if Democrats are corrupt because Orange Man worse. Yes. Who remembers what he said the last time he was on the show? Left. Let's get it right. Give me the fucking quick one. Is it right here? Sam Harrison, Joe Rogan. Oh, sorry, you can't. Hold on. It's here. So, there we go. Is this it?
Even at age 76, Donald Trump's still got it. And by it, I mean, of course, the ability to make previously sane, rational, calm, thoughtful, otherwise intellectual, cultured, and reasonable people go absolutely crazy. So absolutely crazy that they wind up driving their careers and their reputations into a brick wall. The latest victim of this phenomenon, which I like to call Trump-induced reputation destruction, or TURD for short, is Sam. Now, he was...
So this is, again, the same podcast that we were just watching. This is the previous time.
At the 11th hour, when
let's slow it down, make sure we get the full effect.
The real deal.
At the 11th hour, when who knows how this election is going to go, who knows what the capacity for disinformation at the last minute to tip the balance is.
This was right after the laptop came out.
Then what do you do with the Hunter Biden laptop story when we already know we know how this played out in 2016 with the Hillary Clinton email press conference where Comey in an abundance of scrupulosity felt like he had to come before
scrupulosity? I don't think that's a word, bro.
For the cameras, I think 10 days out from the election, and say, we're going to open up this investigation again.
Scrupulosity, yes. There's nothing
wait,
like scrupulosity. That's
not it. Whoa.
But they're not content with defending the idea that the laptop,
Hunter
Biden, even deeper.
Listen, I don't care.
Okay, here we go. In case you missed it, this was the last viral clip from Triggernometry featuring ya boy, Sam Harris.
And started digging his hole even deeper.
Listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's. Hunter Biden, at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement.
What?
I would not have cared, right? It's like,
hell no.
So, saying use ivermectin, danger to society. Hunter Biden having dead children in his basement. Trump bad. In case you missed it.
Care what?
And started digging his hole even deeper.
Listen, I don't care what's in Hunter Biden's. Hunter Biden, at that point, Hunter Biden literally could have had the corpses of children in his basement. I would not have cared. Right?
That's insane.
Right? It's like there's nothing. First of all, it's Hunter Biden, right? It's not Joe Biden, but
it's Hunter, not Joe. Oh, thank you for clearing that up.
Even if whatever scope of Joe Biden's corruption is, like if we could just go down that rabbit hole endlessly and understand that he's getting kickbacks from Hunter Biden's deals in Ukraine or wherever else, right, or China, it is infinitesimal compared to the corruption we know Trump is involved in.
Yes, that's right. He really said that he wouldn't care if Hunter Biden was keeping the corpses of children in his basement. That's how bad Trump was and needed to be stopped. Indeed, he said Trump was so bad. You got to think about this. Trump was so bad that the share market grew by 56%. Annual growth was around 2.5% until the pandemic hit. Household wealth hit historic highs. And again, until the pandemic, thanks to China, the portion of Americans who fell below the poverty line declined to the lowest level ever recorded in 2019.
So that was the last time. So again, going back to the comments from this current time, Sam does the same thing, claims to actually care about corruption, and says, I don't care if Democrats are corrupt because Orange Man worse. He should be saying, if Trump supporters pretend to care about corruption but ignore anything Trump does, then I will be the opposite. I will hold Democrats to the fire every chance I get. I am different. But no, he literally calls out Trump supporters, then basically gives himself a free pass to do the same thing in the other direction. He literally said, I don't care. Yeah, we just watched. I mean, come on. And so the person noticing this is in a cult. But not this person. Okay. Nice straw man. Yep. Argentina brought some meme coin and over 10 billion. Is that real? Argentina brought some meme coin and ended up. Oh. Because they switched to Bitcoin. All right. Love how Konstantin didn't hesitate to ask what vituperative meant. Sam should have a long form of. Who is this Victor David Hansen person? These guys appeared on Rogan and didn't touch any uncomfortable tension between their views. Shows they have absolutely no integrity or courage. The purpose of the lockdown was so that hospitals didn't get overrun with sick people who got COVID. Yeah, remember that? Sam actually criticizes both sides here. He even says Biden's term wasn't good. Oh, well, there we go. Now he's fair. Sam points out billions of dollars worth of Trump corruption and Tweedledee and Tweedledum bring up Hunter Biden's laptop. So again, we understand who the audience for this show is and why. What the fuck is going on? And why Sam Harris is back. I don't know. But we have hit the goal, guys. Thank you so very, very much. I'm going to give you guys a minute to add any if you would like to. But we had the 10 gifted memberships from Funkmaster, and then another 5 gifted memberships from Funkmaster to get us over the goal. The Rage page came through with $2 to keep it raging, and Adam did the same. But now, you paid me, guys. It is time to pay yourselves. If you can't do, where are we at? What is it? 52. 54. That's 54 divided by 2. I hate doing math when I'm on fucking thing, on stream. It never works. My brain just doesn't let it work. 54 divided by 2 is 27. 27 push-ups. If you can't do 27, do 25. If you can't do 25, do 20. If you can't do 20, do 15. If you can't do any, then do some girl push-ups. You paid me, now pay yourselves. Let's go! There we go. 27, let's go. We got this. No fucking problem. Let's go. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 1. Oh, good luck. Let's fucking go. That's how we pay ourselves. Oh, vertical, guys. I forgot to. We got to figure out a way so that I could do it on camera for you guys. But none of you motherfuckers super chatted anyway. So big shout out. We got much more from the landscapes. The landscapes win tonight. Thank you so very, very much. And guys, again, if you are new here, please do hit that subscribe. We are live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it. So don't just hit that subscribe, ring the bell, because you know YouTube sucks with those notifications, and you don't ever want to miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Thank you, Kitty. Please do hit that like button if you have not. It really really, really does help. And if you really want to help, go leave a puppy emoji in the stream as soon as it ends. If you would like to be in the after party, make sure you are there. I don't see anybody there, but I think we're about to rage. Guys, thank you. Thank you so very, very much. I know that you could be doing anything else in the world, and yet you are here hanging out with the Overlord, Vertical people. This is the Overlord, if you have not seen Morty. And of course, I am your host, Lutch, aka TheIndianJesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Thank you so very, very much for hanging out, guys. Once again, that's Morty. I'm Lutch. Until next time, we are... Wait. Oh, shit. Where's my thing? Why am I not scrolling? Oh, my goodness. The scroll's not working. Okay, there we go. All right. Until next time, we are...